Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answer.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention. If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you. But you must call 800-257-0663 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-257-0663. That's 800-257-0663. Again, 800-257-0663.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
I'm just looking at these NBA standings and results here. How about it, Kyle Draper? Looks like the Kings, even though they didn't play last night, they had another productive night.
Exactly. You know, moving on up like the Jeffersons out there, if you will, separating themselves from the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns a little bit and creeping on the heels of the New Orleans Pelicans. It was a good day last night for the Kings.
Yeah. Here's a playoff picture if the playoffs started today, as you probably know. But it's just nice to look at this, isn't it? You got your 9-10 play-in, Lakers, Warriors.
Jokers.
And I know this could change. But 7-8 right now, Suns and Mavericks. And so your Kings would be getting ready to play a best-of-7 series against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And I would welcome that matchup.
Yeah, me too.
That's a team we've beat twice in their place. And so hopefully we learn, Kings fans, and we have learned that a hiccup here in December, a cough in January, a sneeze in February, even a sniffle in March doesn't derail the entire season, Whitey.
Right.
All the doom and gloom about, remember, even back at the Houston games, the 2 in Houston way back when, we had people ready to get rid of their season tickets. And here we are, this Kings team, by the end of the weekend, could be tied for 5th.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's a great attitude. I was one of those people for much of that. And then after the Houston game, we just decided, it's like, that's done now. We got to look ahead, and they have opportunities ahead of them now. Whatever happened, if they'd won that game, they'd be this. It doesn't matter. Here they are. They're in great shape.
They're in amazing shape right now, and
best of all, they're playing well.
They're playing well. They're playing their brand of basketball. Mike Brown seems happy, with what he's seeing from his squad the last couple of games. And this is when you want to be playing your best basketball. Look at the teams around the Sacramento Kings right now. Who's playing well? Who's playing better than the Kings at this very moment?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. And so we could talk about, the Clippers. Well, they're reeling a little bit right now. They got a nice win last night, I believe. But the Phoenix Suns, they got some issues. Dallas, Luka's hurt. Like those other teams, Lakers and Warriors, they're in our rearview mirror. Those other teams we're not worried about. The Kings right now are one of the hottest teams in that little cluster in the Western Conference.
What especially about the way the Kings like to get it done is going to be challenged against the Knicks. Physical team, aren't they?
Very physical team. I think as I watch the New York Knicks, and I'm a deep dive into them tonight and early tomorrow, I'm on the call tomorrow, they play the style that Mike Brown wants this team to. You talk about physicality, like they get up in you, Jalen Brunson, he's physical on both ends of the floor. Josh Hart, Josh Hart to me, to a lesser extent, is cut from the same cloth as a Dylan Brooks, as a Marcus Smart, an agitator, a guy that's not going to back down. Then you got Dante Divan, and OG Anunoby is back. I know he's not looking great right now, but he's back. You're talking about a 3-and-D guy. And then the big man in the middle, the all-world center, Isaiah Hartenstein. Yes, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Top 100 players.
Top 100 player in the league. And so this Knicks team, man, they play hard. They reflect their coach. And I feel like that's where the Kings are trending to as well.
Josh Hart is what, 6'4"?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, sounds about right.
And so he's playing more now because Julius Randle's out, right?
No, Randle was out. And they've had.
So have you seen, and I know you said you haven't done all your homework yet, and you will. Have you by chance seen Josh Hart's rebounding numbers the last 4 games?
I would imagine they've been tremendous because, I think I heard this a couple games ago, like where he was just snatching everything. What do you got for him?
Here's his last 5 games. 8 rebounds, 7, 11, 19, and 15.
That's what I heard. The 19 game.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so this guy, he's a load, man. And he's found his niche in New York. And to me, he's one of those players that, is all like, you just can't get rid of him. Like, he's like a gnat. You're trying to swat him away. And everywhere you go, he's going to be at. And that's how this Knicks team is, man. This is going to be a big test tomorrow.
Yeah. Josh Hart plays the way the Kings need to play every game.
Exactly. Because one thing, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and I'm going to throw DiVincenzo, it's not all
Former
sweet.
King DiVincenzo.
Yeah, we had a cup of coffee here
Yeah.
In Sacramento. Former Warrior DiVincenzo.
Yes.
One thing about those guys, when they step in between the lines, they got a pulse. You know what I mean? It's not all sweet. It's not a Sunday drive or anything like that. No, these guys are ready to do business. They're ready to stand on business. And so I understand, Kings fans, we're excited. We're feeling good. But hopefully our boys are listening right now. They got to come with their hard hats tomorrow. This is one of those get out of the muds because you're not going to be able to punk the New York Knicks.
Right. Did you hear what your guy, I'm not sure he's your guy. Everybody's your guy, but Draymond Green, is he your guy?
In this instance, yes, he's my guy.
In this instance?
Because I love Draymond Green. We're going to get to it. But the content that he provides, I love it, man. I love Draymond in his role outside of basketball.
Draymond Green on the Draymond Green Show, talking about Domas's record versus Anthony Davis, which is 10-0 now.
10-0.
Yeah, and we probably will play the audio at some point here, but just to catch up, everybody making such a huge deal out of AD being 0-10 facing Sabonis. Everybody's like, oh, is that a coincidence? Do you make anything of that? It's interesting because the first time I ever heard of it was AD being 0-9. Then you go into road game at Sac, you lose the game, and everybody says, see, now he's 0-10. Green says, I actually view that as one of those coincidence type things. Like, do we really believe that Sabonis is better than AD or could be a tough matchup? Everybody has tough matchups. He goes on to say, you got the teams involved, and Fox is better than the Laker guards. Given no credit. Once again, Draymond's trying to stomp on Sabonis' 10-0 record against AD.
It's Draymond being Draymond, first of all. And we know him and Sabonis have some history,
right,
if you will. And so, I think Draymond's coming to defense of AD because I'll be honest, I like AD. I liked him when he was at Kentucky. Had a chance to, with John Calipari back when I was there. I'm an AD fan, and I think he's a future Hall of Famer.
No question.
I think we're sort of blowing it out of proportion just a little bit here in Sacramento.
Really?
Just a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Yes, because if what Draymond said also, and we'll play this a little later, you got to include De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox has owned the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox plays some of his best basketball against the Lakers. And I think outside of the previous 2 games against AD's numbers historically are actually better than Domas when it comes to the head-to-head matchup. And so I think it's become something now because we're aware of this record and everything, and now we're looking for it. But when you look at the numbers statistically prior to these last 2, I'm saying, AD has pretty much held his own or had better numbers. And then you throw in the fact that De'Aaron Fox, before last game, was averaging 36.5 points against the Lakers per game in the first 3. Like, that counts also. It's not a mano-y-mano thing.
Well, that's exactly what he said. Yeah. And as you
and so I tend to agree to it. And we're yucking it up. We're sopping it up like we love it. It's like chum in the water for us as Kings fans. And I get it, but it is kind of a coincidence. I will say though, he owned him last game. Like last game, I thought this past week here, that looked more personal. That looked more like an undressing than the previous games were.
I'm sure what you said made a lot of sense. And yeah, Jay in the back. Jay was nodding.
Jay was nodding?
You say Jay's always disagreeing with you. Jay was nodding in agreement. But I didn't hear everything you said because I was distracted partway through by this image of Domas standing there flexing while Anthony Davis is on the ground in the fetal position, grabbing his face. So I know, 10-0 is, you can make too much of that. But like you said, we all knew what the record was. And it's like, all right, AD, what are you going to do about it? And he did nothing.
Fellas, real quick, let me throw this in there. Guess who they're both represented by? Draymond, AD.
Yeah, yep.
Remember that too.
Yeah, that's
and hence why the De'Aaron kind of flows in there. Like Draymond's a business guy. He knows what he's doing. Hence the podcast, hence calling out certain topics that he knows is going to get some love. And like Drapes just said, both of you guys, he's going to play he's going to play the antagonist, right?
Yeah.
And so don't let it slip out the fact that they're both clutch sports guys.
Yeah.
Like that matters, man.
I forget the name of the author of the book, The Victory Machine, about Kevin Durant's last year with the Warriors. Ethan Strauss, I think.
Yeah, Ethan.
Really interesting book. One of the things he said here, guys, is this where we are? He said, NBA players now, they're more loyal to like their shoe companies and their agents than they are to their teams. Are we getting to that point? Maybe that's
we're there.
Are we there?
Absolutely.
Nah, Jay, don't do that. Don't do that.
We're
Jay.
there.
Are you saying De'Aaron Fox is?
No, because he's not that guy.
But he's with Clutch.
Yeah, but
he's with Steph Curry.
Yeah, but let me say this. Guys. Yes, and that's the thing. The reason why De'Aaron's not that type of cat because he's had an opportunity to already jump ship. So we seen, and he's one thing we continue to argue about De'Aaron about is like we need him to be a little more open. We need him to be that type of guy. We need that type of action for Sacramento to become a bigger scene setter. You can't tell me Like, we're talking about $200 million deals with Nike and all that type of stuff. We're talking about people, even De'Aaron. De'Aaron even kind of went through like, look, I want to be wanted. I don't want to just jump back with Nike. I need to be wanted. I want to be, people have to come to me. Guys, you got to be fooling yourself if you don't think brands, being a brand member, an ambassador, a sponsor. Nah, come on, man.
You know what it is, guys.
Money moving needles.
Money moving needles. And these guys, and we're talking the top of the top, the stars. We're not talking the 9th, 10th man on the roster. These guys know the power that they have. And so whether they play for the Celtics, the Kings, or whatever, somebody's going to pay them because they're that great. Kevin Durant could go wherever he wants. Devin Booker can go. So to your point, the team really doesn't matter because no matter what team they're on, they're so great. Like, they make the team. The team doesn't make them.
And think about this real fast. All-star, Whitey, Drapes, we've all been there. You just there last year. What happens during All-Star weekend? The team's not parading you around.
Right. It's your agent and your
Come
brand.
on now, your brand. You're going to 14 different Nike events.
Now, you guys remember, though, there was a time when you knew, watch the game, the Celtics couldn't stand the Pistons, right? The uniform. And the Lakers couldn't stand the Celtics. And that made it more entertaining. Devin Booker had something interesting to say this week about how those days are gone.
Yes.
And we'll tell you about that when we come right back here. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, post-nasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then, a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS.
We're just chopping up the fact that Draymond Green says Domas's 10-0 record against AD says coincidence. And Drapes and Jay kind of say, yeah, in all fairness, there's something to that. But Jay pointed out that, well, you got to remember also, Draymond and AD have the same agent. So we started talking about how now players, it seems in some instances, maybe NBA players are more loyal, some of them anyway, to their shoe companies and their agents than they are to their teams. And that brought up this. Devin Booker addressed this week. He was asked about rivalries. I think he was on with, is JJ Redick your guy?
Not really. He's okay, but
All right. So there's very few guys that are not your guy. So I got
to write that down. It's probably an easier exercise to write down who's not my guy than who is.
Right. So he was asked about these rivalries. Like we said, like if you've been watching the game for a while, you know about the Bulls and the Pistons and the Lakers and the Celtics, and they hated each other. They hated the teams. I remember there was a movie, was it Amazing Grace and Chuck? And in it, Alex English played a Celtic. And Julius Erving said, I would never put on a Celtic jersey, even in a movie. Yeah. But Devin Booker says, quote, I'd say there's no real rivalries because of grassroots basketball. A lot of these guys we've known for a really long time. And I think people just realize that it's not that deep half the time. People always say they're not really about to fight on the court. They're really not about to do that. That's a $500,000 fight. Like, nobody should do that. I haven't heard too many times that crazy lines were crossed on the court, but it has happened. I've seen people handle it behind the scenes in the correct way, like it should.
Where's he wrong? Where's the lie at?
he's not wrong. There's just an implication to me, or an inference that it mattered more to players before. You know, that now the money matters more than it used to, and which is understandable because it's so much more.
It's so much more, right? Trust me. Back in the 70s, or the 60s, if Wilt was being paid $30 million, and money would matter a lot. Here's the thing about what Devin Booker was saying, and this is what we got to understand. And he's 100% right. Because back in the day, Whitey, you know how you knew about the other great players in your high school class or youth class? Maybe word of mouth, maybe in the newspaper, Street and Smith rankings or whatever, but now a lot of times you team up with these guys or you see them at tournaments all the time. And I'm talking from a very early age. I'm not just talking 11th, 12th grade, like the youth basketball circuit now. I mean, we got 4th and 5th graders traveling, up and down California, going to Vegas. And so you get to know these guys. Whereas back in the day, the only time you interacted was head to head, maybe once a year, maybe at ABCD camp or something like that. But that's even in the 90s. That's not in the 70s and early 80s.
You're right.
And so it's a different game now, man.
Yeah. In addition to that, you got players changing teams so often. There was somebody, Malik was talking to the media after the last game. No, I guess it was the Bucks game. And then somebody walked by and said, hey, something to him. And he laughed. And I looked, I think it was like Jay Crowder. They're like, they're really buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens all the time. What's interesting, though, is that Devin Booker says this and he's right. But what happens when he plays against Luka?
Right. Now, there's some spicy there. So there are some.
But it's more individual.
It's not Phoenix Mavs.
Yeah.
Like it's Devin Booker, Luka. And we can also go back to the late, great David Stern. He changed the marketing from a team to the individuals. You look at Bird and Magic. It was about Lakers Celtics, great rival, one of the greatest. And, they were great teams, but it started to be Bird and Magic, Jordan, Isaiah. It became, he started marketing the individuals. And even to this day, when you watch an ESPN promo or TNT promo, it's Luka and the Mavs versus Booker and the Suns. It's not about the laundry that these guys are wearing. It's about the individual.
Yeah.
And I can't, and that's one thing that bothers me. And we get on these players so much for lack of competitiveness, lack of a rivalry, but they're just a product of how they've been brought up. And so who really is to blame, Whitey? Is it the players? Or is it the environment they were brought up in, meaning the adults at the time?
Yeah, you can't blame the players when, as you say, in AAU ball now, you're brought up, you play with all these guys.
Right, yeah.
It's interesting what you said about it. David Stern deciding that we would focus on the individuals and not the teams. When Silver took over, Adam Silver, I remember him saying, we're going to focus more on teams now. We're going to get away from that. They never have.
It hasn't happened, right?
I think people I don't want that.
Right.
I want you to focus on the superstars.
It's the superstars. They drive the league. And, and that goes back to my point I said last segment. These stars understand their power right now.
Yeah.
And, De'Aaron Fox, love him to death. I hope he stays here in Sacramento. But the odds of a player staying with one franchise, especially if you don't win, and as you get later, you want to chase a ring, those days are over, man. There's only a handful of those. Kobe, Dirk. Who's going to be like this iteration? You think? I don't know.
I was asking some people this week. I asked the G-Man. He wasn't really sure who in the history of the Kings, Kings, Royals, all that. Who's the best player in the history of this franchise who only played for this franchise? And it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. And it might be De'Aaron Fox right now,
right?
Because so many guys, especially because of the nature of the Kings franchise, they haven't always been a great franchise. You had guys like, Oscar Robertson was here, but then he got traded. Like Chris Webber was somewhere else, and then he got brought in. Mitch Richmond too. So I don't know, but it's increasingly rare. it's, you start talking about De'Aaron Fox in those terms. I get a little anxious, but it's a fair question. We just don't have to worry about it now.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about it now. Exactly. And I'm looking at the chat line, 916-339-1140. Our guy, Folsom Mike.
Here we go.
I'm going to say our guy today. I'm sorry. We spend a ton of time at Hardwood Palace. And these kids, this is Folsom Mike's words, guys. These kids are punks and their parents are worse. No one is friends out there. That's for sure. Folsom Mike. And I've been out there at Hardwood Palace. I've been out there. It gets real out there. It gets real. But as you come up, I think what you're seeing is, these guys, they're friends, man. They're looking to team up. And here's the thing, too, about the NBA. Can I get something off my chest? We get mad at these guys for chasing rings, switching teams or whatever. I am all for player movement, players choosing where they want to go. I'm a big proponent of free agency. And here's why. We got it in our field of work.
Of course.
We we don't like it here. We can go somewhere else. Why would you want to condemn someone to stay in a place they don't want to be at? And also, we don't have a problem when the organization trades them. So why can't the players make the decision and go, if you're LeBron, go to Lakers or go back to Cleveland or whatever? Why do we have that problem?
Good point. Yeah.
The old days are over, Whitey. This isn't the 60s or 70s or 80s anymore. This is how it's been, I think, for the last 20 years.
I agree with that. I still think there's something to be said for the guy that sticks it out. But before we get to that, the thing about Folsom Mike, maybe he's right. Maybe the kids all hate each other. But Drapes, correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking about the best of the best.
Yeah,
at Hardwood Palace or wherever. And then they end up playing the best in the Bay Area. I mean, the elite guys. And they get to know each other. They're at camps and things.
Right. This is the upper level. Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time they're on this team or that team, they've spent a lot of time
together, playing with each other, playing against. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he talked about a team he had, and he has two teams. One is just the regular, but then the other team is the elite of the elite. And they come from all over, like you were saying. It isn't just from Sac or isn't just from Rockland or Granite Bay or wherever we're talking about. It's from people all over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Now, to the point you made about why shouldn't players be able to switch teams, I agree with you. I've always thought that. They should. They should be able to. And if a guy wants to go here or there for whatever reason, bless him. That said, what a guy like Giannis did, the fact that he stuck it out, to me, his championship, to me, doesn't matter what it means to me, but that's just how I feel. It means more than it does for a guy that went to a team that was already in position to win a ring. I don't blame the guy that said, I'm going here. They're a really good team. Good for him. But a guy like Giannis, what he did, just to me, I think there's more weight to that.
What if there's, let me give you someone who's on their team.
Again, a guy like LeBron went to Miami. They were good. That's great. They did great. I don't blame him for that. You shouldn't have done that. But what Giannis did to me is like, wow, on some level, that's harder and therefore more admirable to me.
What about Dame Lillard? He stuck it out in Portland and nothing happened. And he's like, listen, man, I probably only have 2-3 good years. I got to go. Do you still hold him in the same boat? Or are you like, oh, you're ring chasing and now you're rung lower?
No, I didn't say ring chasing.
Okay.
So I understand your point. I don't blame him for wanting to get out of there. But if he'd stuck it out and if it had worked, it wasn't gonna. So I don't blame him. He was smart to want to get out of there. That would have, to me, there's something more. It's just harder to do that way.
Yeah.
I respect that more. I respect both, but I respect that a little more.
And that's your opinion, and I'm not going to argue that. But I think when it comes down to players and moving around, winning a championship isn't just on the player. You got to have a coach. You got to have a front office.
You're right.
So Giannis, fortunately, he had a good coach.
Yeah.
They surrounded him with talent. And so if you're LeBron, your first stint in Cleveland, you're playing with Anderson Varejao, and you don't have faith in the organization. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just toil away at that organization and hope that, Dan Gilbert and whoever gets it together? Or do you take onus and say, you know what? I'm going to make the decisions. I'm not going to leave it up to this GM. I'm not going to leave it up to this head coach, because I think a lot of times, and we've talked about this before, the pressure on a player to win a ring, you're not great unless you win a ring. And so look at Dame Lillard. He just brought him up. One thing missing from him, a championship. You know, we look at TNT. They still get on Charles Barkley daily. Charles Barkley should have probably left sooner or should have teamed up with somebody, and then he wouldn't have, be the butt of jokes with Shaq and those guys. I'm for it. Is there a certain amount of time, though, Whitey, where, okay, you played there for 10 years and it hasn't happened, now you can go?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there a certain amount of time where you're okay with a player, you know what, Dame Lillard, for instance, you gave it your all, it's not working, and now it's okay for you to go?
I also think no matter what I think or what you think, I think we're getting to a point where nobody cares when someone does that. You know, there used to be a real stigma attached to that. It's like, wow, you're not going to stick it out, huh? Do it the hard way. Now I don't think people care. And I think within 10 years, no one's going to care at all. It'll be like, why did you stay? You know,
right,
rather than
yes, yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly. You know, it's, not to get, on a different kind of tangent, but it's like, if you're unhappy, why would you stay in that situation? Why not make a change? And I think that's where we are as a society right now.
Coming up next, tell you why ESPN likes the Kings to grab the 6th seed. Ooh. Drive Guys, Sactown Spots.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Ball forward, take your base. The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands. Goodbye, home run. Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate and get iPad and Apple Watch SE with eligible service plan. Only on Verizon.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. With over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia during their spring event and save big on your favorite models. You can even buy with zero down on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by California Army National Guard, Nature Wood Home Furnishings, and RVs of Sacramento.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
What a Friday it is. You going to get out playing golf at all this weekend?
I hope so. A little breezy, but, I'm going to take my son, I think. We got the game tomorrow, obviously, so we'll be at that. But I'll probably hit some balls or go out and get 9 in. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It gets breezy around here on some of those courses. I shouldn't say this. A couple of nights ago, we were talking, we're having dinner before the game, and I think it might have been right after you came in. Say, hey, everybody.
Yep.
And we're sitting there, we're talking about golf courses, and Alan Stiles. They're talking about playing golf with Matt George or whoever. And I said, do you have a home course yet? And he goes, yeah. I like Hagen. And I was like,
Oh, Alan Stiles said that? No way. Oh, my God.
I'm upset. He doesn't know. Not to admit, I was just like,
oh, you're calling him out, too. That's what kind of friend are you, man? Wow. Like,
it was just
that's
funny.
Brutal.
He just got here.
Is he not listening to Golf to Go?
I know. Clearly he's not. Clearly he's not. I mean, like when he calls for the tea time, doesn't he? Hey, everybody, Hagen Oaks. No, they don't. Wow. Alan, man, he keeps digging himself deeper out here, man.
I bet he's got game.
You think so?
Yeah, he must. Baseball players hit the ball good, don't they? Or are they all over the place?
No, it depends. Some of them have that home run swing where they're but he probably has game because I don't know his game, but he doesn't look like Aaron Judge, so he's a contact hitter, if you will.
Who's also really good hockey players. If you ever see that,
that
tour, there's a lot of hockey players that are really good golfers.
Yeah. Because sort of a similar motion with the hockey stick, So I'm not as good, though. You know what's so funny? My guy Tom Morton was texting him the other day.
He's out at Hagen, right?
He's at Hagen, yeah. Gave me the lesson the other day. I woke up this morning and I'm like, what did Tom teach me? I sort of forgot. And so, because I haven't been out there in a couple of days. And so I might be starting from scratch when I go out this weekend.
Yeah. He's truly great because he's a guy. I mean, I've worked with him. He's the type of guy who'll say, hey, I heard you having a problem. Why don't you come over?
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 minutes, he'll see you swing and go, oh, well, just do this drill. It's like, wow.
Right. Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. And he has me doing, it's funny. I was working on something and I was next to the shed and he's like, all right, Kyle, do a swing, but don't hit the shed,
Ooh.
And so I did it with one hand, I was doing it. He's like, all right, now put your other hand on it. I'm like, whoosh, whoosh, hit the shed. And I was like, oh, he's like, no, Kyle, that's why the shed is there. Don't worry. You're not the first one, but no, it's, if he can fix my game, he can fix anybody's.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. We got golf on here. We got the players and we got the A's and the Giants. And we got some news today that we'll get to. It's looking increasingly like the Sacramento A's are probably not going to happen.
Right. It looks like they may come to an agreement with Oakland, right? And stay there.
Looking that way. So we will get to that. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hey, let's welcome back Emmy joining us here on Sactown Sports. How are you, Emmy?
So under the weather a little bit, but okay. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. I know it's early, but have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
I am hoping Sasha could be back, could be cleared for training as soon as Tuesday. I have some inside sources, but I'm very, very careful with spreading stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's your update on Sasha, huh?
She got the inside info.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Emmy. Yeah.
All right.
Emmy's always
our
welcome.
Sasha correspondent.
She's always welcome on this show ever since she said bang, bang, Niner gang. That was yeah, that was the best.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been tough for her. We haven't heard from her because Sasha's been on the shelf.
Right. Yeah. And when he does come back, does he have a spot?
He's going to have to earn one.
Yeah.
Still got an opportunity. You can make threes. We'll find a spot for you.
Exactly. His 3-point shot off the bench, huge boost for the Kings. Yes.
The ESPN here has a look at how the West is going to go. It's an interesting piece at ESPN.com. They give the Kings 46.8% chance to end up with the 6th seed. Now that's not even 50%, but it's higher than any other teams in their bunch, if you will. So any of the teams.
So the
below
6th
them,
seed.
Yeah, the highest. of any team for the 6th seed. They need to talk to George Sedano, right? Somebody at ESPN needs to talk to George about that.
George, our guy. Well, George got him going to the Western Conference Finals.
Right,
so,
exactly.
He's got him going all the way. But I think I like the chances at the 5 seed. I'm coming around on that right now, Whitey. I know the Pelicans have owned us.
You have not been impressed by them all year. I'll say that.
I know. I've been out, right? And
I
I think we can catch them. We're a game back right now. You still play them one more time. But I think the way the Kings are playing, I broke down the schedule yesterday, Whitey. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm jinxing the Kings. And if I am, I apologize to everyone.
It's time for all that now.
But look at the schedule. Look at the schedule. You got the Knicks. Tough team. But they're banged up a little bit, but still tough team. If you can win that game, then go to Memphis. Toronto is reeling right now. Toronto is really struggling. Then you got Washington. So that could be a nice little 5-game win streak right there, 6-game win streak right there if you're Sacramento. And then you get into the Orlandos and the Pelicans and Dallas and all that. But I think it's right there for the Kings to take it.
You can slice that, as we've discussed, a number of ways on how difficult the schedule is. Here, ESPN says, among the teams that are fighting to avoid the play-in crowd, only the Suns have a tougher remaining schedule than the Kings. But again, it's how you look at it. They also point out here, Kings one of 8 teams with a winning record against teams 500 or better. But I also point out the Kings are 16-7 against teams with losing records.
Yeah, and you got to think, maybe that's me being optimist drapes. You got to think that they're going to turn that around. You got to think that 65, 66 games into the season that they'll finally learn their lesson that you can't give away these games.
Here's the really good news. And you know this if you've watched it, maybe, but I didn't know it was this dramatic. In March, the Kings own a top 5 offense and a top 5 net rating so far. Really early, but yeah, right now they're doing what you hope your team is doing this time of year.
Exactly. And it's happening at the perfect time. And, it's funny because a couple of days ago we had the conversation about spray threes. And I was like, oh, Mike, I'm tired of these dang spray threes. Like, that's all you talk about. But we're seeing it the last 2 games. Like, we're seeing the offense execute the exact way that Mike and Jay and Jordy and Doug and all those guys won. It's get into the paint, hit them. And so, I was thinking the other day when it comes to spray threes, it's like, we get it, Mike. We get it. Let's talk about something else. But that is so critical to this team's success, the spray three, that he has to keep hammering that.
There has been, according to ESPN, one bright spot lately on defense among this porous group. Second-year guard Keon Ellis.
ESPN giving him some love, huh?
Yes. Yesterday we talked about the fact that the NBA now seems to be calling fewer fouls.
Yes.
And that even is slowing down tempo a little bit. Why? Because it's allowing teams to get more physical. They're not going to call it, so I can bump you, and then that's having the impact on pace. I think, maybe because I hope it, I think that can help the Kings. The Kings are challenged defensively. Now it's like, all right, guys, you can grab a little more. You can bump a little more. They're going to allow that. So maybe that actually helps them defensively.
I think, when you look at him and a guy like Davion too, I'll include in that. You're right. Like the ability to be physical. Like I feel like Davion's a physical defender. I'm gonna throw Chris Duarte in there also. How many times Chris Duarte is at the top of one of my guys. He's up there on the team. But how many times have we seen Chris come in, he's pressuring the ball and gets whistled for a foul, in the first half of the season? Now, if we're allowing that, this could transform this Kings defense.
Yeah, just even things up for them a little bit. Speaking of pace, don't you think tomorrow night's going to be a real battle of pace? The Knicks, they like to kind of slow it down, play in the mud a little bit.
Yeah, this is a half-court offense kind of team, talking about the New York Knicks and contrasting styles, if you will. Knicks are, and I got to look up the numbers, but they're a heavy, I would imagine, paint team, like paint touches, especially a guy like Jalen Brunson. And no, this is the old. It used to be like when we had the Celtics-Lakers rivalry, Showtime versus, this is sort of like that. The Kings are a fast, upbeat team. The Knicks are a half-court, grind it out, make you work kind of team. Contrasting styles. Tomorrow.
Yeah, Showtime versus slow
time. Yes.
When we come back, we thought that was a huge game for the Lakers. Maybe Wednesday didn't mean as much to the Lakers as we thought. Next with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sport.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Inside the lane, step back, 17. Forgot it, nothing but that for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, Sacramento, get ready for a lineup that's not just hitting home runs, but delivering laughs and legendary tunes. It's the Sactown Sports live events calendar, where entertainment takes center stage. First up, on March 22nd, get ready for a night of hilarity as the comic genius Hannibal Buress takes the spotlight at the historic Crest Theater. And on March 23rd, the laughs keep coming with the one and only Dimitri Martin at the Crest Theater. It's a comedy doubleheader that's sure to score big with your funny bone. Visit livenation.com or Ticketmaster to score your tickets. And don't miss the Jacksons with Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine with all your favorite hits, plus Sister Sledge and the Tramps, all March 30th at Thunder Valley. But wait, sports fans, the excitement doesn't end there. On August 4th, the Outlaw Music Festival rides into the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a musical grand slam you won't want to miss. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information.
The Drive Guys
Afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We're getting some Kings Knicks scouting reports here on the YouTube chat. Appreciate that. Your guy Ryan Williams Art says the Knicks play slow tempo. They'll try to clog the Kings' flow. Cole G points out Kings have to box out in caps. Box out. Knicks offense has missed a shot, an offensive rebound for a putback or open three. Their initial offense is terrible. They are, I believe, number one in offensive rebounding percentage, and the Kings are number one in defensive rebounding percentage.
Kings have done a great job limiting other teams' offensive rebounds. And so what's the old saying? Something's got to give tomorrow when these two teams play each other.
Curtis Hicks, Drapes, don't rule out the 4 seed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's some crazy talk right now. That's getting crazy with it. Clippers right now in that 4 spot. I did mention earlier, they're struggling right now. They got some issues with that team, injury issues, and I know they won last night. But right now, the Kings 4 games behind the Clippers. That seems kind of insurmountable.
Especially when you have another team in between you, too.
Yeah, you got another team. And if we're saying don't count out the 4 seed for the Kings against the Clippers, then are we also saying don't count out the Warriors from the 6 seed? But, it's like you can't have them both, right? And so I understand, we want our Kings to finish as high as I think realistically, mark it down. Kings in the 5 seed.
Wow.
I'm going 5 seed. I'm confident in my guys.
Sacramento.
Cole G says the 4th seed is possible, but I think the Kings would have to go on a 7 or 8 game winning streak. That sounds reasonable. That they will do that, but that they would need
that needs to happen. Yeah, exactly. And then you got to hope, like we were just saying, you got the Pelicans there also. You need them to lose a couple of games in that mix as well.
Now, as we discuss all these permutations, and this team's ahead of that team, and that team's ahead of this game, this many games ahead of that team, don't you assume that players are aware of that too?
They know. They got to know right now, right?
Well, that's what I would think. But this was after the Kings beat the Lakers, and somebody was asking D'Angelo Russell about the standings. And, you tell me what this is.
What was at stake? Obviously, their team just right above you guys in the standing, a couple of spots ahead of you guys staying. No, it's at stake coming into tonight. Does that make this even more frustrating or just more frustrating?
I didn't know what was at stake.
They were two games ahead of you guys in the standings. Obviously, they already won the season series, but now they're 3 games ahead, and you guys are, I think, 3 behind for 7th now.
Now I know what's at stake. What was
that dude? I feel like that dude's checked out.
Is he trolling the question?
Yeah, maybe. Where he went wrong is, now I know what's at stake. Like that's the part that makes it look bad. Because if he says I didn't know what was at stake, it could be talking about do or die, must win, and all.
Yeah.
But he says, "Oh, now I know." It's. I think he's checked out, man. Something's up with that guy. Because remember, the article came out too, where he talked about his relationship with Darvin Ham and how Dennis Schroeder sort of impacted that. He seems like a guy that's biding his time to get out of LA.
Jay, could we hear that one more time?
Knowing what was at stake, obviously their team just right above you guys in the standing, a couple of spots ahead of you guys staying. No, it's at stake coming into tonight. Does that make this even more frustrating or just more frustrating?
I didn't know what was at stake.
They were 2 games ahead of you guys in the standings. Obviously, they already won the season series, but now they're 3 games ahead, and you guys are, I think, 3 behind for 7th now.
Now I know what's at stake.
Now I know. Thank you for enlightening me.
Now I know. Yeah.
Fellas, there was a few other kind of weird things that night during that press conference too. So I'm with Drapes on this one. Whitey, I think he just I think he's checked out, man. I think he does, and I think he also kind of wants to get Darvin Ham out, with them. I think he's gonna walk. There are a few other things that I saw on Twitter, and from people in LA, like what is D'Lo talking about tonight? Where he was just kind of clueless during that press conference as well, too. So that wasn't the only thing.
Yeah. Keon Ellis will do that to you.
Hey, we ain't heard from Dame Lillard since, have we? Since Keon locked him up. It's that shows to me that the Lakers are a mess right now. Like, this isn't last year for them. Last year, they made the trades at the deadline. Things were new, fresh. You got some new blood in there, Rui. You got D'Lo. The path was a little easier, I think,
They were
for
feeling
them.
good a year ago.
Yeah, they were feeling great. The question is, did the Kings break the Lakers over the last week? Because remember, they came off a big win against Minnesota. They were feeling good. And now they came into Sacramento and got their butts handed to them. And, they don't look like a contender to me. And that's why I say them and the Warriors, they're in our rearview mirror. I'm not even focused on them anymore.
Did you hear what Darvin Ham said after the game?
No.
That raised some eyebrows. I don't think we have the audio. I didn't send it to Jay, so that's on me if we don't have it, if it's out there. But he said
about the offense. He was talking about offense.
Yeah. He said, I wish Mike Brown, I wish I could ask him what they're going to run every time they come down the floor so that we could just know. Do we have that? I think we're going to get that.
Was that Darvin Ham that
he said,
said
I wish Mike Brown would just tell us what they're going to run so we could just stop it instead of having to make second and third efforts to try to stop their offense. So it's trying to take a shot at how bad their defense is. Like, gee, if they just tell us and we don't have to try to, then it'd be easy. We wouldn't have to try to stop them so hard.
That's a little tongue-in-cheek, right? That's a little.
I don't know. Tongue-in-cheek or is like, man, I got some dogs.
It's
not in a good way defensively.
I was down in LA last week when we played them and, talking to some people. And that's the Darvin Ham situation is kind of weird. It's kind of because the fan base wants him out. At times, it seems like the players want him. But I think Rob Pelinka and Jeannie are backing him. And so it might be one of those, power plays, if you will, where, you talked about D'Lo maybe wanting Darvin Ham out. Well, maybe he's not playing as hard. Maybe he's not, trying as hard. Maybe he's playing like he didn't know what was at stake the other night.
Remember, the Kings destroyed the Lakers offensively. Lakers actually scored. I mean, their offense, especially the first half, their offense was okay. Their numbers are good. But here was Darvin Ham, Laker coach, after the game, talking about how the Lakers couldn't stop the Kings.
I wish I could tell Mike Brown, please come down to when you play offense, just let us know what you're going to run in so we can, stop it and not have to, give second and third efforts.
Or is that a shot at LeBron James? Because the clips, our boy Chris Watkins spliced up some clips, and LeBron, his effort level on the defensive end, it's non-existent.
Right.
Like he HB was, shooting warm-up shots. LeBron gave him that much room. And so that's what I'm saying. They are a broken franchise right now because this isn't their year. I don't think, they don't have the draft picks. I guess they do have picks that they could do something, but does a Trae Young put you over the top? Like, I don't know. You got two aging superstars, LeBron, and AD's now 31. AD's got his ring, and so I just wonder what's the future of the Lakers? Where do they go from here? It's sort of like the Warriors to an extent, but at least, it's still good vibes. Steph Curry, you got some hope maybe with some of the young players. The Lakers don't have any young, impactful players.
They also have clear dysfunction. We talked about this yesterday, teams' cultures. And when you have the coach going one way and one of the players going in another way, and as you said, we're not sure which way LeBron's going, but it may not be the same way ownership is going.
Yeah.
So then you don't have everybody headed in the same direction. You got, for an aging team that's struggling, you got no chance, basically.
And
it's time for that funeral, Jay.
That's coming up. When's the last day of the season? April 12th or something like that?
Like
14th,
15th.
Yeah, something like that. We'll have it then.
Month? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
Well,
yeah.
I did. It's just, you just realize it.
Yes.
14th.
Stunned.
April 14th
Yeah.
is the last game of the regular season.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck to Darvin Ham. Yeah, if he's, as you suggest, taking a shot at LeBron, he might as well just drive to the other
Right. Don't even go back home, right? Like, just catch commercial flight back, It's I tell you what, though, as a Kings fan and a Kings broadcaster, nothing pleases me more than to see dysfunction from the other California teams. for so many years, we were the ones being beat up on, laughed at, ridiculed. And now it's the Lakers and Warriors.
Right. And that said, I know, we all know there's still a long ways to go.
Still some time, yeah.
A lot of pizza left in the box. Yes, when we come back, it is looking more and more and more like the Sacramento A's ain't happening. Tell you why with the Drive Guys when we get right back here in this Friday, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide and services to showcase your invention. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there. To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Right now, Meda Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on new 2024 half-ton Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drives after rebate. It's a Meda Chevy exclusive.
See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/24.
See all the savings at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Type it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
And without question, one of the most fascinating local stories we've been dealing with over the last several weeks has been the possibility of the Oakland A's making Sacramento a temporary home. Well, that appears less and less likely. The big question here, and I think we dealt with this on a day, Drapes, when you were traveling, the big question is, why was there a report in The Athletic that Sacramento was considered the favorite to land the A's? I don't know where that came from.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we'll ever find out. Somebody obviously had a reason, a motive for leaking that story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, but we now have this as the A's and Oakland continue to work on an extension. It looks like all signs coming out of those meetings are positive. They had another meeting yesterday, meeting focused on a possible Coliseum lease extension. And let's see, a spokesman for the A's said they had a positive and productive meeting. The A's and the city and the county have made it clear we don't want to negotiate this in public, but all the signs coming out are positive. So there's a very good chance they're going to be in Oakland for the next, this year plus, next 3,
Next
maybe.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I get it. It makes sense, but that's a bummer. That's a bummer for the city of Sacramento. I've talked to people, fans. they would love to have it here in Sacramento. Love to show MLB what we can do here, support a Major League Baseball franchise. But for the city of Oakland, I get it. It's it makes the most sense. And for the A's, think about this. If you're the A's and you're trying to talk to free agents, I know it's a pipe dream, right? But
they get a few,
they don't get the big names.
Yeah, they get free agents, sure.
Yeah, in 2 years we'll be playing in Salt Lake City. It's like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so from a psychological, a mental, it just makes sense for these two sides to come to some sort of agreement.
I guess so. The way I look at it, I know this doesn't make business sense, but remember when the Oilers left Houston, their plan was to go to Nashville. I think they were going to play in Houston for a couple, 3 years, and they couldn't because the people in Houston said, get out, and they wouldn't support them. And they ended up having to leave. I think 1 year they were like the Tennessee Oilers because it was like they weren't really ready. The stadium wasn't ready.
Right.
And to me, that's great. But when the Raiders left, Oakland kept them around until, all right, now you're going to leave. And now it looks like Oakland's going to keep the A's around until, all right, you're ready to leave. I just wish they'd kick him out.
Really?
He doesn't want to be around. Get out
But
there.
see, Whitey, you got to take the pride out of it. You got to take the ego out of it. Having the Oakland A's in Oakland is still good for the city.
Well, I know financially it certainly is, no question.
It may look bad. Your feelings may be hurt. But from a political and from a taxpayer stand base, from a resident stand base, having that team there, it means something. It's just because you can't just because your girlfriend's about to walk out, you can't kick her out a day earlier.
Yeah, you can.
But
on that lease.
But in a way, what does it mean for true fans of the team? It's like, yeah, this stinks, but hey, come on out and see us. We're going to leave in a few years. I don't know. In a way,
true fans weren't going anyway. They weren't going anyway. 3,000 they were bringing in. Come on, Whitey. 3,000. What? It's going to dip to 2,000? That ship has sailed.
There's a lot of fans that don't go to games, but they're still fans. And so you're just, I don't know. I think the city in a way looks bad. Yeah, you're right. You make money and you do have Major League Baseball there, but the way it's just almost like capitulating. You're leaving? All right, well, would you stay for a few years, please? Let's work something out.
What about all the workers at the stadium?
I understand.
What about the employees? What about, the parking attendants? All that. All that. You owe some loyalty to them, too, if you're the city of Oakland.
How much money are they making when, like you said, there's 40 people there? How many hot dogs they sell?
They're not selling a lot, but, it's something. And, I would love to look at how many people the Oakland A's employ in their franchise, but also concessions and all that. And if you take them out, because I would imagine if you're going to Vegas, some people might say, we don't want to move to Vegas. They'll lose that job. And so keeping them in there, it's a huge employer for the city of Oakland. And so I'm not going to just, be like, get out of here. And, because of spite, my feelings are hurt or anything like that. I see exactly what you're saying. But when you calm down, and
calm down.
You got all your stuff thrown out in the street, you realize I probably could have handled that better. And so I get it. And especially as a fan base, you okay with seeing them in Sacramento? You're okay with seeing them in Salt Lake City? Your team in Salt Lake City? It's like having your girlfriend already immediately go be with her new man after you done kicked her out. That's still kind of a thing.
Me personally, I would have much rather have seen them struggling and just becoming a joke in Salt Lake City because of the way they dealt with it. But what if
Salt Lake embraces them? Salt Lake is like, come.
That's fine. It's still Salt Lake City, and their ballpark isn't even finished, and it's a minor league ballpark, and it would have been a joke. And I think that's what the current ownership deserves. You're right. If it's best financially for Oakland, but Jay, where do you come in on this? Because to me personally, you want to leave? Go. Goodbye. And if where you're going, if they're not ready for you, that's not our problem.
Yeah, the other part, I'm with you with this one, Whitey. The other part for me, too, is I would have loved to see the struggle of the A's being in crunch time, of having to find somewhere to play, and see John Fisher and Dave Cavill and the rest of the organization squirm left and right and up and down and try to figure out a place to. And I keep saying this, and I get where you're coming with the Drakes, because on a humane level,
right,
coming for, the people that work there, the folks who are the core of what's going on in Oakland, the ushers. I like bumping hands with the ushers and the ticket takers and everybody else. I'm with that. But the other part is to me, Oakland's bailed out the A's yet again. Like, if they come to agreement, you've bailed the team out yet again.
They get their TV money.
Right. Like, everything goes the A's way, and it gives them another couple years to go, of leeway to try to figure out how to build this ballpark in Las Vegas. I think if the city and Mayor Tao, Mayor Sheen comes together and they just say, hey, listen, I don't want anything to do with you guys. Figure it out. And watch what the A's do. We've seen they can't figure it out, fellas.
Right.
Maybe that puts them in a position of not being able to, rectify a stadium in Las Vegas. And now we're talking about something different.
Do you think maybe Oakland's view of it is, among other things, if we want to get an expansion team someday, our best play is to go along with us and show baseball that we can be a great city, even under less than ideal circumstances? Maybe.
Maybe.
What are we talking? Because everything we've heard is 2030, fellas.
Yeah,
I know. Post Manfred, and they want to probably put something together in 2030, which kind of works for the A's calendar. If they start in 2028 in Las Vegas, and then the league will be ready come new agreement to be ready to go in 2030. So you're telling me, as an Oakland A's fan who's going to watch his girl, as we talked about, his girl's going to walk out after we've already broken up, but you're still living in the same house. We're still living in the same house, but not knowing you're going out for a month. Like, you're going to sit here for 3 more years.
But you got little Johnny, your 5-year-old son, right there too.
That's true.
He wants mom to stay in the house too.
We got to figure it out.
You're doing it for the benefit as much. You got to swallow your pride. That's what I'm saying. From a city standpoint, and when you look at politicians, I want my politicians to react based on what's best for the city, not emotionally. You guys are reacting emotionally right now.
I am.
You guys are.
But Drapes, let me say this. Am I not trying to play for the long play as well? Because, again, if we bail out the organization, meaning the A's as a city, with no confirmation, no guarantee, no anything, if they're not able to get a stadium, which right now is a coin flip in Las Vegas. Like, they're not guaranteed to get $1. Unless we're coming to the table and having a conversation like saying, listen, we're going to take a break and we'll still, for Johnny, little Johnny, to stay under the same house and the roof and everything else. Maybe you sleep upstairs, I sleep downstairs. We'll figure it out. I get it.
That's what I'm talking about.
I get it. We're co-parenting. But maybe we get together. Maybe we go to therapy. Maybe, we figured out some counseling, couples counseling, hit a retreat. Maybe we feel good. Retreat. Maybe we need some space. I get that type of stuff. But what is the city getting? But that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. And it's not just swallow your pride. We're doing business dealings here, and you deceived us and stabbed us in the back. It's just not prudent for us to continue to do business with you. How can we continue to do business with you when you have violated our trust? I think I can put my pride aside and still look at it that way. But maybe there's still the hope for Oakland is that thing in Vegas. That is going to fall apart. Then what are they going to do?
And
we'll
that's
be there to scoop them up.
That's where I think, you guys talk about the long play and all this. I'm thinking Oakland is saying, because once you move out, once you walk out that door, the odds of coming back,
it's a good point,
are slimmer.
Very true.
And so if this Vegas deal falls apart and the A's are playing in Sac, or they're playing in St. Louis, Salt Lake City, to me, it would be harder to go back to Oakland. This way, if this Vegas thing falls apart,
they're still there.
You're still there. You're still right there. Business as usual. We just go on.
It's probably smart.
That's what I'm
It
trying
is.
to say.
It is. You're right.
You got it.
I'm definitely thinking with emotions here.
Oh, yeah.
In
Still
a lot
don't
of
like
ways.
it.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
have to
Yeah,
like
I know.
it. Yeah.
Kick her out. Kick them out.
Kick them out, right?
Kick them out.
Keep in mind, Drapes is the one that loves the new stadium. I think
I you know what?
That
I
fake
might
stadium.
even take a trip there in the 5 years when they're there
Oh, man.
and report back to you guys on what it looks like.
That's not it.
That's not. Jay said that's not.
That's not
No,
it.
you're right.
Cross the
All right,
line.
I'm taking that back.
Yeah.
I'm taking that back.
You know, the whole problem with baseball is a lot of people think that the owners are not even looking further than 10 years down the road. They're like, we don't even know if people are going to still come to baseball games. So we're making our money now.
Yeah.
Future of the game, we don't care.
That's what they are desperate to get into Vegas right now and beat the NBA too. Think about that, And so we'll see, man. We'll see.
All right. So we'll keep you posted on that, but it's not looking good for the Sacramento A's. Up next, Charles Barkley has had it with the idiots on the other network, as he calls them. That's next. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Pepper, inside the lane, step back, 17-footer, got it! Nothing but net for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by California Army National Guard, Major Wood Home Furnishings, and RVs of Sacramento.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
I don't know about you. I don't always agree with Charles Barkley, but I thought he hit the nail on the head last night. Drive Guys here. Before we get to that, I meant to ask you about this yesterday, Drapes, and I forgot, and I don't want to put you in an awkward spot, so I understand if you can't comment. One of your broadcast partners in Boston had some interesting things to say about Grant Williams. Did you hear about that?
I did. My guy, Mike Gorman. Yeah, I did hear.
Yeah.
And
just said basically no one liked him when he was around. He's a loudmouth, blah, 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 blah. And I think Jason Tatum came out and said, no, he was good.
Here's the thing about Grant Williams. Remember, I said I would love for the Kings to go out and get. Grant Williams is sort of that guy when he does something or said something, you don't take it seriously. It's just Grant being Grant. You sort of brush it off. Now, Mike Gorman would know, a longtime Celtics broadcaster retiring at the end of this season. I could see how Grant could rub people the wrong way, but in Boston, he came in that way. He was homegrown that way. You go to Dallas, Luka's team, you heard the story about his talking trash to Luka. Who did we have? I forget, we had somebody on that was telling us that story, talking trash to Luka, or I might have heard it on Sirius XM radio. Mm-hmm. And Luka, went out and scored 26 straight points against him in practice or something. And so I just think Grant Williams is like Draymond Green, but not as angry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like
he's just kind of irritating,
yeah. Always yapping. But I would love to have Grant here on Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. All right, gotcha. Now, are you a big fan of Inside the NBA? Shaq,
love that show. Yeah. Love that show. That's my favorite show out there.
What do you love about it?
I love that it's organic.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love that it's not polished or prepare. You never know what you're going to get or what
Yeah.
you're going to hear. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something real quick as we get into this story. When I worked at NBC Sports Boston, we used to have high-level meetings, like all the RSNs, all the top people. And they said, that's what we're trying to accomplish with our pre and post game shows. We are not only trying to inform, but we're trying to entertain. I think they lean heavily on the entertainment part of it, but that's what all pre and post game shows and studio shows try to achieve.
Yeah, and they never
They
quite
never
get
can do
there.
it. Like ESPN cycled through a billion different people in their NBA pre and post game shows, and it just hasn't stuck.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. The thing that's so great about that show is it's so unique. So, we're going to copy that. Well, you can't. That's what makes it great.
Right,
You
right.
can't possibly be as unique as that show is. Last night, Shaq and Kenny, and by the way, you mentioned the show is not prepared. Did an interview with Ernie Johnson once, and it was really interesting. He said, look, we prepare all the stuff we do, but none of it is planned.
Right.
So,
right.
that's why when something happens, we're ready for it and we got a joke, but we don't know if it's going to happen or not. So
Right.
we're ready, but none of it
right.
is. None of it is planned.
Right. And I heard him say one time, like, let's say Chuck has a take on something. He won't say it, the first time, like in the meeting, he'll
Yeah.
save it for,
Yeah.
and so, because you try to repeat it the second time, it falls flat. And so, no, it's a great show, man. I love it. Sometimes it's better than the games.
Mhm.
I'll watch that instead of the game sometimes.
And sometimes the things they talk about that are not about basketball are much more interesting and accurate than what they say about actual basketball.
Yeah. Sometimes they get into it and put their foot in the mouth, especially Charles Barkley, our guy Charles. But it's wildly entertaining, man.
By the way, we really should be playing that. I think Kyle Draper. What did he say about you? I think Kyle Draper.
That's a great point by Kyle Draper.
We
or
should be
something
playing
like
that a lot.
Jay was gone. Jay, were you gone that day? I think you were
Yeah.
gone that day. The drop is in there.
Okay,
big
let
fella.
me grab
You
it.
probably lost that one.
I was seeing that today. I was seeing that today. I was like, man, if I was Kyle, I'd be saying, why aren't we playing
I
that
know.
more?
I forgot all about that. You're right. It was my tweet because HB was eating, cooking against Klay Thompson.
Yes.
In the game. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Charles Barkley was kicking around with Shaq and Ernie and Kenny last night. And Charles Barkley has had it like we all have. He's had it with ESPN going on and on about the stinking Lakers.
If the West is going to go down to the wire. I mean, plain and simple. It's going to be fun to watch. Our sister network on the idiots on the other network keep talking about the Lakers and the Warriors like they got a chance. But listen,
They have a chance. It's called the play-in.
The play-in is not a real thing, just for the record. That's just something we made up, Shaq. It's just like the CBI tournament. That's what the Lakers
Oh,
Warriors.
God, you're already in college basketball. Man, is CBI
We
not
making up stuff.
CBI's not.
They should thank Adam. They should stop. They should thank Adam Silver for making up some stuff. Hey, let's just add a couple T-shirt playoffs so the Lakers and Warriors can get in.
Ouch. I love it, though. I love it.
Idiots on the I don't think they're their sister network, but we all know who he's talking
Yeah,
about.
we know who the 4-letter network, right?
Yeah.
It's every single day. Lakers, Warriors, Lakers. And they do rehash the same topics. 3 weeks ago, are the Lakers dead? Are they done? They win a couple games. Are the Lakers back? They lose a couple games. Are the Lakers done? It's like the same topic. Same thing with Warriors. Same topics over and over and over.
Why doesn't TNT do that? If that's the mandate at ESPN, it must be based on something. TNT, yeah, they show the Lakers a lot, but they don't, on that show, they don't spend all that much time talking about them.
Yeah,
what do they know that ESPN doesn't?
That's a good question. That's a great question. I think here's the difference, and it just hit me, Whitey. ESPN is dependent on topics. TNT, the personalities drive the show, not the topics. Chuck, Shaq, and those guys, they could be talking about anything. He brought up the CBI tournament. That was hilarious. We remember the CBI. And so I think ESPN is being, they need the topics, the content to dictate whether people will watch. Whereas we'll watch the Inside the NBA show no matter which team they're talking about. They can talk about the Orlando Magic. We don't care because it's entertaining. It's hilarious. ESPN doesn't have that.
I think it was a deadline day, and I was wondering if the Kings had done anything, so I watched a good chunk of that. And at the very, very end of the segment, they said, and Kings traded for Robin Lopez, blah, blah, blah. But they did, it seemed to me they did like 10 minutes on the Lakers when the Lakers hadn't done anything.
Didn't do a thing, right? You're like, at least we did something. It wasn't
So it's almost literally talking about nothing, but it's the Lakers, nothing. So
right. That's and I would love to be a fly on the wall in some of their meetings because they have to walk in every day and say, all right, what's the Lakers? What's going on with the Warriors? And then start from there. And then if we got time for everything else, it's really ridiculous, man. And I get the Lakers are a premier franchise. I get the Warriors, Steph Curry. But I would, for instance, the best story in the league outside of OKC might be the Pelicans this year and Zion. Zion, the only thing we've heard from people about Zion is his weight. The dude's playing phenomenal. The Pelicans are playing phenomenal. We don't hear about them at all. Domas is playing phenomenal. Will Chamberlain numbers. We don't hear about that. It's frustrating, man.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that Denver's pushing back to the top. That's a great story. Minnesota, I don't like Minnesota, but that's a great story this year.
Let me ask you this, though. And I'm
nothing against Minnesota. I forgot that
that's my spot. I love Minnesota, man.
I forgot about that.
I love it. If we play Minnesota and I'm on the call and I will be a happy camper. I will be extremely happy.
Is it true that it's like a habit trail in downtown Minneapolis where when it's cold, there's like tunnels connecting all the
it's
so you don't have to go outside?
Yeah, it's bridges. Like it's, walkways. Yeah. Whereas Houston got the underground ones when it's too hot outside. Minnesota has the the ones that above the street. Yeah. And I use it all the time. Used it a couple weeks ago when we were there. But let me ask you this, and I'm just playing devil's advocate for ESPN. Are they just giving the majority of fans what they want? Are they just playing to the masses? And can we blame them for that? And I'm just being a devil's advocate here. I'm not saying I agree with that, but is it a good business model for them to do that?
They think it is. I think I've told you probably multiple times. Our friend Nick Friedel one time was telling us that he says they'd have a big high-level meeting, all the NBA people at ESPN, and they tell him, look, at the top, this is what people care about. It's LeBron and the Lakers. Then there's a huge gap. Then there's Steph and the Warriors. Then there's a bigger gap, and there's everything else. So that's based on something. So they think they're serving the audience. It's just interesting. There's so few people that seem like they really like that model.
Yeah, but I will say this about LeBron. He moves the needle. Like, people either love LeBron or hate LeBron. The same can't be said of Steph Curry, although Steph's trending a little bit in that. The same can't be said as much of Kevin Durant, of Jason Tatum. To me, LeBron is the one player in the NBA that you mention his name, people perk up, people listen. Whether they love him or hate him, LeBron moves the needle. Now, the Warriors, the Celtics, I don't think there's that much. They're not as polarizing as LeBron.
Maybe nationally. Yeah. One of the smartest things the NBA did, this is kind of a offshoot of this conversation, pardon me, but a few years ago, they'd have like a matchup on a Thursday, and there'd be like two, big marquee teams, but one of them would be playing like the second night in a row. And you could see before the game even starts, like, this is going to be a terrible game.
Right.
And I think they've gotten better at realizing that. And you have fewer games involving at least one team that's playing a back-to-back. But they used to think, oh, it's Dallas and it's the Lakers. Dallas just played.
Right.
This is their second night and 3 and 4 nights, whatever. They're going to get killed. They finally started realizing how foolish that was.
Yeah, but I think it was a month or so ago. It was the Lakers and somebody, and it was the second night. And like all the stars sat out that game.
Yeah.
Like everybody. It might have been Lakers Warriors, maybe even. All the stuff. No Steph, no LeBron. You know what the NBA needs to do? And I think they do this to an extent, and they make some, but flex scheduling, if you will.
Yeah. That would be great.
A little more flex scheduling, because
that's impossible. I don't know.
But think about it. Kings last year. we were the darlings of the NBA. We were league pass must-see TV, third seed.
I'm with you 100%.
Like, in the back half, we should have got some national TV games, you know? If the league did more of that, think about it this year. Minnesota, maybe. OKC, they should be on more. Orlando in the Eastern, Cleveland. And so the NBA, instead of putting on the Lakers and Warriors all the time, you know, and those two teams are 9 and 10 in the Western Conference.
How hard is it? You would know. How much lead time do you need? Say, hey, there's a game in 2 weeks. We're not sure where we're going. Is that a problem? Or is that pretty easy for the networks to pull everything together and say, all right, well, you're going to Minnesota or you're going to OKC?
I think it's a big problem. Now, I'm just throwing that out there in a pie-in-the-sky world. But you also have to look at the RSN models, the sponsorships, which you promise, hey, this game is going to be on this air, you know. All that effect, you know, you can't just, all right, next week, sorry, NBC Sports California, we're taking that game from you. You know, it's a money thing, obviously. And then you got the staff. I think you could cobble together the staff to get it done. I think it's other things involved.
All right. We'll get back to that, I'm sure. But coming up next, the 49ers have been so busy. Jay says they're running circles around the rest of the NFL. You hear that? You're with that, right?
I think he's backpedaling like Dion right now. We'll ask him about that too.
49er insider from The Athletic, the great Matt Barrows, joins us with more on the Niners and all that cap space next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Now Draper has a great point, though, right there.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia during their spring event and save big on your favorite models. You can even buy with zero down on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Every beer has a history, but not every beer is as legendary as Coors Banquet. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado. Born of the Rocky Mountains. There's only one beer in the history of beer that has been as stolen, smuggled, and sought after as this one. It's time to find out why. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere. 2022 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater. Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Expect those winds to ease as we head through late afternoon to early evening. A nice day ahead with highs in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
How long can we legally call ourselves a new home of 49er football? I'm fine with it, but how long can we do that? 'Cause, we've had a season now.
Yeah, I think first preseason game.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you get one full year, if you will.
All right.
But once second season begins,
and I'm
you
fine
can't
with
do
it either way. But
All
you
right.
know, it's like, well, I think
Are we? Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
it's been a year almost. Right?
49ers have been busy this offseason. Did you
Hey.
see you guys have a new quarterback, your Eagles?
No, I missed it. Who do we get?
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, we traded for Kenny Pickett?
Yes. Because apparently when Russ went in there, he's like, nah, I'm not having that. So they traded him, and you guys got him for, I think you got him for 2 7ths and 25 and a third rounder in 24.
Really?
And then you also had to give them a draft pick.
Give them a interesting.
That is interesting, huh?
I don't know why. That doesn't make it doesn't make sense to me.
I was wondering about that myself. I mean, that's
Or
pretty
unless
solid
Kenny
backup,
Pickett,
right?
yeah, it's a pretty solid backup. And maybe, you look at my guy Jalen Hurts last year, he was banged up
Right.
for a lot of the year. And, who was it? Marcus Mariota, isn't the guy that you want to turn to necessarily. And so maybe it's just an insurance policy, considering that Jalen Hurts has been banged up in recent years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2022 first round pick, Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Now a Philadelphia Eagle. Joining us now, our next guest, legendary football writer, writes for The Athletic, used to write for the Sacramento Bee, of course, got his start, as we all know, with the Daily Packet in, I don't know, South Carolina or somewhere. I'm not sure. Here he is, the one and only Matt Barrows. How are you, Matt?
It's the Island Packet. It's not the Daily Packet. Okay, so let's
get it right. Get it right.
Let's get it right.
Where is it? Where was it?
That's right, Hilton Head Island in South Carolina.
Okay.
All right. Yes. You've been busy. What do you think so far is the most significant thing the Niners have done, Matt, in this free agency period?
Well, I mean, they basically done everything for the defense. I mean, it's been a very defense-oriented free agency. So that allows them to concentrate on offense when the draft rolls around next month. But I would say that the number one thing was adding Leonard Floyd at that defensive end spot opposite Nick Bosa. I mean, that's been something that they landed Bosa in 2019. It was a great pickup. He's fantastic, one of the top defensive ends in the league, but they've really struggled to find his bookend. They thought they did it back in 19 when they traded for D Ford. He quickly kind of fell apart. I mean, back injuries as far back as that season. Then they went with Samson Ebukam. Then they went with a couple of other options. Nothing has really panned out very well. So, this is the latest iteration, and it seems like the best one. This guy's been Mr. Consistency for the last few years. 9 sacks, at least 9 sacks in each of the last 4 seasons. If the 49ers got 9, that would be a tremendous number. That would be much higher than anyone else has gotten in that span that I was just describing.
Matt, you bring up the defensive line. I look at all the moves they've made over the last year, bringing in a Randy Gregory, trading for a Chase Young. Why didn't that all work out, and why is this a better option going forward?
I mean, that just kind of underscores their struggles at that position. I mean, they had to trade not only for Gregory, but for Chase Young as well. Two trades at the same position, which kind of underscores that they didn't go heavy enough at defensive end. I mean, they thought that Drake Jackson was going to pan out, and some other moves were going to work. Cleveland Farrell would be the sort of the base down guy, and that they'd have some really good pass rush options. None of it worked out, so they had to scramble at midseason. This should be better. So, I mean, we're talking about Leonard Floyd. We're talking about Yetur Gross-Matos as sort of a bigger-bodied guy. He could be a base-down guy. He could also sort of slide inside like they've done in the past with Arden Key, Charles Menahue, even Eric Armstead early on. In the Shanahan regime was playing outside and then inside as well. So that's sort of a type, a physique that has worked well for them in the past.
The great Matt Barrows, our guest here. You normally hear Matt on the morning show, of course, with Dave. I want to ask you, Matt, do all 49er offensive linemen, do they have some kind of celebration today? They must observe it in some way, thanking the football gods for the fact that Aaron Donald is retired. And can you be a goat and a ram at the same time?
Yes, it's a very astute question. I'm searching for something that you give me. No, I'm looking for something that here it is. It's John Feliciano, who re-signed with the 49ers and plays right guard this morning. He says, "Best day ever!" 2 exclamation points. Staying in SF and AD retiring with a bunch of smiley face emojis after it. So you're absolutely right. That was sort of the league-wide celebration among guards and centers today, especially in the NFC West, where they used to have to face Aaron Donald twice a year. And really, I mean, starting on Wednesday when these teams would start game planning for the Rams, it was all about Donald.
Yeah.
Donald, getting 3 hands on him at all times. And the 49ers actually have done pretty well against him over the years, but everything has been geared to stopping him. It's what they think about 24/7 from Wednesday through Sunday.
Matt, look at some of the other moves that the Niners were making. Devondre Campbell, getting him from Green Bay. What do you make of him? He's been banged up the last few years. What do you think about him and his impact he could have?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 49ers figure Devondre Campbell is going to be a full-time starter probably the first month of the season. I mean, I think that's what they're thinking with Dre Greenlaw and his comeback from Achilles surgery. I mean, we're still early in the process, but and it's possible that Dre Greenlaw is back and playing in week 1. I mean, we've seen that in the past with Michael Crabtree had a torn Achilles in, I think it was May of 2013, and he was playing by November of the same year. So it's possible to come back in 6-7 months. I don't think the 49ers are going to rush Greenlaw back. Sort of maybe an October 1 return would give him that 6 months to kind of heal the tendon, and then another real nice multiple week ramp up to get back into football shape. So my point is that Campbell might be a starter for the first 3 or 4 games, but then he's going to slide into that strong side linebacker role, which is very much a part-time role. Sometimes they only play, 5-10 snaps a game if you're playing a team that uses a lot of 3-4 wide receivers. So I think that's the idea. He's somebody, the veteran. He can fill in for Greenlaw. He could possibly fill in if Warner has to come out and somebody has to wear the green dot and call the plays and do all the things that a middle linebacker does. So it's a good pick. I mean, I think it's probably maybe a half step down from Eric Kendricks, the guy that they thought they had on the line, but who decided to go to the Dallas Cowboys instead. But I mean, it's the same idea, the same concept.
Matt, I know last year in camp, the 49ers were barraged with questions early on about the window, and we all talk about the window closing and all of that. Is it maybe overly dramatic to think that with Purdy's new deal coming due, the window may, if not closing, at least be starting to shut a little bit on the Niners next year? Is that how they look at it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're going to see this draft sort of kind of looking forward to that. I mean, I think it's going to be another draft where they bring in a bunch of guys, and most of them don't play as rookies because it's such a talented, veteran-laden team. But they have to start looking ahead to 25. And, Deebo Samuel has a contract which would allow the 49ers to slide out of that deal. Trent Williams has said he's definitely playing in 2024, but, I mean, he stopped short of, saying what he's going to do beyond that. So they could have some big ticket positions to fill, and that's why it wouldn't shock anybody if they picked an offensive tackle in round one, or even traded ahead and got into the early 20s and took an offensive tackle there. If they took a wide receiver in the second round, those types of moves that maybe not for 2024, but certainly for 2025 and beyond.
Matt Barrows joining us here on the Drive, guys. Sactown Sports 1140. Matt, what about the secondary? What have they done to address that or shore that up, or is that something that they're still looking at?
Yeah, they've started to address that. I mean, I think they're very happy with two of their cornerbacks, Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore, and Lenore gives them good flexibility because I think that they brought him in initially thinking that he could be their nickel back of the future, and things happened where he had to play on the outside. He played on the outside very well this last year, but the move today suggests that they continue to see Lenore as an inside guy. They brought in Isaac Yiadom, who had a really nice year last year for New Orleans. He sort of bounced around the league until then. He's not a sure thing. But I think he'll probably compete with Darrell Luter, a draft pick from last season, who started to get a little bit of action towards the end of the year, compete with Ambry Thomas, and that the hope is that one of those guys emerges on the outside, which would allow Diamador Lenore to sort of be the full-time nickelback and sort of concentrate on that position. So I think that they could still do some more work there. It's a good draft for nickel cornerbacks, for example. They could bring in somebody in the second or the third round who's their future nickel. And then safety, they've got Talanoa Hufanga, who's coming off an ACL. They've got Jair Brown, who I think started 5 games and was mostly up, but, had the typical kind of rookie stumbles as well. So I think they'd like to hedge against those two guys with a veteran, which is what they've done in recent years. Very sort of affordable veterans. Tashawn Gibson, they brought in Logan Ryan late last year, and he played a lot in the playoffs. But I think they see that as sort of a depressed market, and one where, okay, if you wait a while, you're still going to be able to find a really good, really experienced player, but you're not going to pay a premium for that position.
Here's the deal, Matt Barrows. The guy that I'm lucky enough to work with now, Kyle Draper, he's an Eagles fan. I deal with it as best
you're very tolerant, Whitey. To put up with that.
Thank you. One of the things he keeps trying to tell me and Jay over there is, Ayuk, I hear, Jacksonville, watch out. Ayuk might be leaving. Yeah. Someone's going to offer him a lot of money, which doesn't surprise me. But to me, this seems like it's pretty much in keeping with the way the Niners typically do business with a guy of this caliber. Debo, Bosa. How likely do you think Ayuk is to come back to the Niners, and how pricey you think that might get?
I think it'll play out a lot like Deebo Samuel 2 years ago. Remember, very shortly after free agency is when Deebo Samuel started to make a big stink and demanded a trade and erased the 49ers from his social media. And the 49ers did. I mean, they looked into it. I remember on draft day, that was sort of a question mark. Would another team offer up a first-round pick for Deebo Samuel? And if they did, would the 49ers take it and then use that pick to draft the receiver in that draft? They didn't get close to a first-round pick. And this was with Samuel coming off that incredible 2021 season that he had. So, I mean, my point is that I think the 49ers will listen. And I don't think that they're, optimistic, or they think that they're going to get a type of offer that would, compel them to move Brandon Ayuk. And then 2 years ago, once the draft came and went, that's when you saw the rhetoric calm down, and you saw Deebo Samuel show up to a couple of off-season practices, and then they finally got a deal together. I'm not saying that Brandon Ayuk and his agent are going to cause quite the uproar that Deebo Samuel did, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's sort of the MO. Can you get him traded before or during the draft? And if the answer is no, then I think in early May you start to see the sides really start to come together and begin working on a deal.
Matt Barrows joining us here, Drive Guy, Sactown Sports. All right, Matt. The thing I like about you, I got to work with Whitey. I got to work with Jay, but you're a real journalist. You're not biased. You call it like you see it. You're objective. You're not waving around your Niners and singing "Bang Bang Niner Gang" like these guys are. I look at the Saquon Barkley signing for my Eagles as reminiscent of CMC coming to San Francisco. Am I overplaying that? How do you view that move for the Eagles? And are they now right up there in the upper echelon of the NFC?
Yeah, I hate to agree with an Eagles on this, but I had that same reaction. And it wasn't just Saquon. It was re-signing, one of their top offensive linemen. This has been a good offensive line for a long time in Philadelphia. And they've got a quarterback who runs the ball, and you add a really top tier running back like Saquon Barkley to that mix. That's something that the rest of the NFC should be scared about. And then on the other side, you got Vic Fangio now running the offense. I feel like Philadelphia really needs a linebacker or two, and maybe a defensive back.
Yeah.
And once you get that together, then I think they're back in the hunt, and certainly not doing that fade out that they did this past year.
You know what, Matt? You're going to think I'm kidding, but I'm actually serious about this. The big difference between Kyle and I, we go back and forth on the Eagles and Niners. The big issue we have is that we actually had a text Matt Mayoko race to see whose text he would answer first. And even though Kyle and Matt work for NBC Sports, Matt Mayoko got back to me a little faster than he got back to Kyle. And I don't think he's ever gotten over that.
That's telling. Yeah, that suggests that there's some bad blood there, probably.
I don't even know who Matt Mayoko is. I deleted his number after that. I said, you know what? He's dead to me. I can't deal with him anymore.
Yeah. We know you're extremely busy. Seriously, it's great to catch up with you. It's been too long. Thanks, Matt. Have a good week, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. There's nobody quite like Matt Barrows, who agrees with the Eagle guy. What is that?
He said,
He'll never be on this station again.
He can come on anytime, Matt Barrows. Come on anytime. We still got to shore up a couple things on the defense, yes. But it has been a very good offseason for the Eagles, I think.
Yes, it has been. I was reading something today about how what a bad look it is for the Giants that Saquon, and they didn't want to commit to him, but he's been one of the faces of the franchise. And now not only is he gone, he's on the Eagles.
And the fact that basically, the belief was, all right, who are you going to pay, Saquon or Dan Jones? And they chose to pay Dan Jones over Saquon. I'm not going to call him Daniel Jones. He's Dan Jones to me. They chose to pay Dan Jones instead of Saquon.
Not even Danny?
Not even Danny
no
Jones.
Danny
Not at all. Dan Jones. That's his name.
All right. So thank you to Matt Barrows, and an awful lot going on. It's been an incredibly busy week around the NFL, and 49er fans got a lot to be happy about, and so do fans of the
What do you make of all these restructuring moves that the Niners are doing? Are they,
way over my pay grade. You know, I get an ice cream headache. They do it every year. They're masters.
Right. Is there somebody they're looking at, or is it? I don't know what to make, because your boy Jay, although he got false information, what did you text us, Jay? John Lynch is doing what? Running laps around,
circles around people.
You still believe that?
He is,
even though the numbers came in a little differently.
Yeah. I mean, come on now, this dude is on the track right now. I mean. And with Olympic speed at that, he has revamped the whole complete defensive line, literally.
Yeah, and not only rebuilding it, but actually they looked at that and said, "Wow, we have to get better."
Yes, and they've gotten better. I mean, we heard Matt Barrows. I think they've gotten a lot better. The name Eric Armstead rings in circles, but when you really sit down and look at it, and I'll never down talk on anyone from Sacramento, because I got love for the city of trees and the people that represent, but he's been banged up quite a bit over the last 2 or 3 years. But I'm glad he got his bag. I'm glad he's going to Florida, where he has no taxes, and, we can collect a lot more, because we saw Armstead a couple times last year get on social network and post his check. So I think that played in a lot of it. And, but as far as, and I gave him this kudos, Drapes, you weren't here. The one thing Armstead did do is in the playoffs, he played well. A lot through the season, he just was MIA. He was hurt for the last 2 or 3 years with plantar fasciitis in the feet. But I got to give him his love in the playoffs. I just think they went with durability and availability with this defensive line. And one thing we know, they're going to rotate 12 guys up there, but I also think it puts a lot more pressure on Javon Hargrave to say, listen, look, you need to renegotiate. You didn't come in and do what you were supposed to do. And guess what? We got somebody who is a top 5, top 6 defensive tackle in the league. Most people believe now that Aaron Donald is gone and Armstead's kind of fell back. And, with Malik Collins, like, get it together,
I really appreciate the methodical way in which the 49ers build their roster. And it doesn't always work because nobody's perfect. You recognize we have a need there. You draft a guy. If it works, you just keep humming along. But it's really impressive to me the way they recognize where they need to shore things up, and they just attack that area, like the defensive line. And my point is, I think in the draft, I think Matt Barrows mentioned it, they have to draft a tackle, don't they? An offensive tackle?
100%, right? Yeah.
It's coming.
And like Matt Barrow said, all the focus has been defensively here so far this offseason. The defensive line, linebacker, they added a cornerback. But, to your point, Whitey, as a fan, that's all you can ask for from your organization. Go for it. You see a need, and you address it, and I look at, and I know it's maybe more difficult in basketball, but that's been the frustration with Monty McNair and the Kings. It's like we all see what they need, and he hasn't addressed it yet, hopefully this offseason. But with John Lynch, and I will say, you could go back to Trey Lance. It took a while with Jimmy G, but when they make a mistake, it seems like, all right, cut bait now. Yes. We'll accept we made the mistake, and let's try to correct it next time going forward.
Right. Yeah. If it looks bad, well, if we fix it, we win. No one's going to care.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And Trey Lance, case in point, like people don't give up on those kind of picks that quickly like they did. And, and they did it, and Brock Purdy proved them right.
When we come back, we got rave reviews. Reviews for the Kings and their fans from one of the players whose teams they destroyed this week. Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Oh, normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Emran Pilati, the host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sactown Sports 1140, Saturdays at 10 a.m. I'm excited about our second location at the Roseville Galleria as True Sports Cards continues our expansion. And to celebrate this day, we're excited to announce that Kevin Huerter from the Sacramento Kings will be signing autographs on March 30th at 3 p.m. You can get your tickets for this event right now by going to TrueSportsCards.com, searching Kevin Huerter in the search bar, and buying your ticket. Limited tickets are available, so please go to the website, TrueSportsCards.com, and get your Kevin Huerter tickets right now.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at WeatherGuard.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Okay, pull over, sit down, stop what you're doing because you're about to be blown away. I shopped Kohl's Friends and Family Sale, and wow, I saved 20% with my coupon on really great picks for spring, like a cute dress for just $23.99. Plus, I got my husband a polo for under $11, but that's not it. Then I saved 40% on Easter outfits for my kids and earned Kohl's cash. So, yep, it's official. Kohl's is the best. Select styles, 20% offer ends March 17th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Ball forward, take your base.
The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands.
Goodbye, home run.
Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate and get iPad and Apple Watch SE with eligible service plan. Only on Verizon.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Welcome to the March Mania sales event at Kia of Vacaville. Get ready for an extraordinary showcase of our 2024 vehicle lineup. Experience the latest in cutting-edge technology, innovative features, and the sleek Kia design that defines excellence. During March Mania, we're excited to offer unbeatable lease options on our top models. Step into the future with the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating performance. Explore the remarkable fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Discover the luxury and versatility of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending sophistication with practicality. Don't miss our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, perfect for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. And with the EV9 in stock, Kia of Vacaville is your destination for electric excitement. Visit us today during March Mania and take advantage of exclusive lease deals and special offers. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit the Kia of Vacaville for more details.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found ya.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
The last couple of seasons around here have, of course, reminded a lot of longtime Kings fans of 1999 when Kings came out of the lockout and then the best Kings team we've ever seen started their rise to prominence. You know what the best thing about that season was, Stripes?
What?
It was once they got going, because, you know, you had the lockout, so then you had the truncated season. But once they got going, they played pretty much every night. It was great. You know, I was like, there's a game tonight. There's a game tonight. My point is the Kings played Wednesday, don't play again until tomorrow. It's like, I need my Kings basketball.
Too much time off, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, we need to be back in action. We should be at the arena right now.
Yes.
Getting ready for a game.
Yes. It's getting very, very genuinely exciting. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's so nice. Something has changed. We went from, as you've pointed out many times, we went from this sense of trepidation, like something's not right this year.
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's like, here we come. This is exciting, and the Kings are playing well.
Yeah, and they're playing their best basketball of the season. I'm talking stylistically and what we actually see right now. This is more closer to what Mike Brown wants to see from this team. And I give your guy, Keon Ellis, a big
thank you.
I'll let you have that. Yeah, you've been on him. Keon Ellis has really injected some energy into this lineup.
Well, we have this may be your guy, Ryan, on the phone, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hey, Ryan, you're on with the Drive Guys. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
What's up?
Hey, did anybody tell Jay that I think they replaced the water tower with something farm to fork?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He knows that. That's what he's
back there.
That's what he's up in arms about. Yeah, be careful. He knows that all too well. That's what he's upset about.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to ruin anybody's Friday, but I'll get to it really quick. Hey, Drapes.
Yeah, what you got?
I wanted to call and personally say thank you and congratulate you. I have had more friends call me in the last week to talk about your sobriety and to talk about you sharing your story, Drapes. And some people might say that's about you. No, for people that know somebody that's been through that or have a family member, that's about that person that didn't make it, or it's about that person that has a job where they can't come forward and say something. So, Drapes, great job, man. Congratulations.
Ryan, my guy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And I'm becoming more and more comfortable with telling the story. And, I came out last year a little bit with it, and I can't tell you how many people reached out on social media and how many people I stayed in contact with when they had tough days or difficult days or something like that. And so that's a passion of mine, man. And I appreciate you calling in and giving those words, man.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, Drapes, we have something in common.
What?
Thanks, brother. We appreciate it. By the way, for those who haven't heard or haven't seen it, I should say, Jason Jones did a wonderful piece on Drapes in the Athletic.
Yeah. And he came out of the blue with that, too. He called me up. Hey, he said, my editor heard your story and would like to do something more on it. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it. And,
and then I guess the editor said any references to the radio show in here, they got to.
They took it out. They redlined that.
I'm kidding.
They redlined that. But
no, it's a great piece.
I want to say real quick about that piece, too, because like I said to Ryan just now, I'm becoming more comfortable with the story. And one of the things I talked about is my brother and sister. My sister who passed away at the age of 40 because of a drug overdose. My brother lost his life at 38 because of drugs, basically. And I think, for me, and Ryan said it, it's not about, Kyle's not doing it for himself, but I kind of am because it's kind of therapy for me. I was talking to my therapist about this yesterday, about the story and my story. And she's like, how would it feel to tell your full story? I said it would probably be freeing, just something, you don't have to hide things. You don't have to. And so, that's what this article, for me is helping me it's therapeutic for me also.
Yeah. If it helps you and it helps a lot of other people, I don't see any downside.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. And we haven't talked a lot about it because we respect Kyle's privacy. And, obviously I don't want to bring it up sometime when he doesn't want to talk about it, but you should check out the story. It's a tremendous story. And yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
From all of us. And thank you for the call. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Rick on Sactown Sports. Hello, Rick.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hello.
What's up, Rick?
Hey, well, I've had season tickets for the Kings since year one, going way back when. And this is one of the first times where I can actually start enjoying scoreboard watching, following teams that we need to lose. That hasn't happened very often.
It's awesome, right? It's a great feeling, right?
Oh,
Usually we're, on the 13th seed or 14th, like we're out of it by now. We're talking about the draft. I don't even know who's in the draft this year. I don't even know which players we're looking at. We don't even care, right?
Don't care who's in the draft. I just want to see if we can knock ourselves up to a 6th spot, a 5 spot, maybe even a 4th spot in the playoffs this year.
Thanks, Rick. Interesting way you put that. We'll just leave that alone. Knocking yourself up to the – well, anyway, thank you. You made an interesting point. Yeah, in the past it's been, well, let's see. The Kings are – what are they, 13th? If these two teams lose, then move up to 11th.
Right.
And, who knows?
Yeah. or we could play spoiler or something.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to worry about that, you know? And as far as I'm concerned, maybe Dallas, maybe the Suns. Those are the teams I'm a little worried about. But Lakers and Warriors, they're roadkill. They're in the rear view mirror for us.
So fans obviously exulting over the way the team is playing, but other players, other teams are noticing as well. Now, I think this is a guy who's more one of your guys than one of my guys.
Yes.
P-Bev, Patrick Beverley.
He's all right. He's okay.
Yeah. Patrick Beverley, of course, was here with the Bucks this week. And do you guys know? I don't know the guy who does
I don't know.
I don't know his co-host or his lead host. Yeah.
So you hear here a little clip from the P-Bev show where they're talking about Sacramento. Patrick Beverley raving about the Kings.
Track shoes on.
Cleats.
Yeah, we're going to be up and down today.
Sure enough.
Oh, my goodness. The speed.
I think Sabonis is just underrated in the fact that he's playing. We went from Indiana to Sacramento.
He's playing so well. It's the system, so you got to get a coach a lot of credit. Obviously, Darren Fox, Malik Monk. I mean, they playing their ass off. They energetic. They're flying around.
Harrison Barnes.
I mean, yeah, he's steady all the time.
Keegan Murray didn't play against you guys, but he's very nice.
Yeah. Trey Lyles. I mean, those guys are Herder. Yeah, solid. I always like Sac, though.
Yeah, Herder, popular among the ladies.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
That one girl said that she's, I guess, in love with him or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
The girl from the background of that Steph Curry photo, but who was looking in the background of pictures?
They beat the shot us too.
They really did.
Oh my goodness! And you know it's gonna be crap. I'm talking about Sac. I got cowbells out there. They ringing all type like the beam, all type.
Like beam.
I'm talking. It's so loud. It's so loud. But you know that it's Sac. Like, oh, that's how it is in Sac. It's lit.
How about that?
I love that. That's he ended it by saying it's lit in Sac. I love that. And for another player to say that, an outside player who just came in and experienced Golden One Center, that's tremendous. That's what, we mentioned earlier, the heyday of the Kings, those early 2000s teams. Players knew when they came to Sac, they couldn't wait to get out of town. Like, who was it? Was it Phil Jackson or Mike Brown even in his introductory press conference? He'd play in Sac, and then, those cowbells would be ringing in his ears. He'd wake up the next morning and his ears are still ringing. And that's, I love that, a guy like P-Bev, Patrick Beverley, who's been all around, said something like that.
It feels like it's starting again. It feels like this year it's been almost dormant a little bit because of this reason, that reason. It feels like everything's starting to come together for the playoff push. Maybe I'm just wishing, but that's what it feels like.
And it not only feels like that, and you've raised this time and time again. I wasn't around here, but the late 90s and how that second year, you had the lockout year, the first year. The second year, you go 44-38. Think about it. This team right now is well on pace to surpass that. And then it was that next year that they won 55. And so you can sort of see it. Last year, the 48 wins was great. This year, and then bam, they're going to take another step. And so it's sort of similar in the way that they're building right now.
Yeah. When we come back, how lit is Sac? How lit will we be the rest of the way? And should the NBA have cracked down harder on Rudy Gobert? More from Chuck and Shaq on that when we come back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, we got to wait till tomorrow night for Kings basketball. What are your duties tomorrow night, Drapes?
Whitey, why do you even got to ask that question, big fella? We're coming off 2 straight wins.
I know.
When I was on play-by-play.
I know.
Vivek, Matina, they want to keep this thing going. They said, Drapes, we need you on the play-by-play again. So I'm doing play-by-play tomorrow. Knicks, Kings, baby.
It's weird. We haven't played the Knicks yet this year. Now we got to play them twice.
Twice, yeah, in like 3 weeks or whatever it is. Yeah, and they're a good team, man. They they're banged up, obviously, but, it's not only them. Who else? There's somebody else. I feel like in the, Golden State plays somebody like 3 times, Phoenix or something crazy like that. It's a weird quirk in the schedule, considering we've already been out east a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to Miami. We've been to Charlotte. We've been out there, Cleveland. You would think, Adam Silver, if we're out there, let's just do it in one fell swoop.
You mentioned Charlotte. They're on TV right now. They're losing very early to the Suns.
Ooh.
If you had to, let's just say for whatever reason, I'm sorry, you had to get rid of 2 NBA teams. You had to contract. You had to. It's like, we love all franchises. We hope we have more someday. But let's just say we have to contract 2 franchises. That, without question, is one that I'm getting rid of.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. They've been,
There's no there there.
There's no
from an NBA
right.
standpoint.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm with you on that. There's no hope. There's no, they've been in the lottery every year, it seems like. What's the other one?
Well, the NFL's leading rusher.
No,
not that one. Not that one.
Probably have to be one in each. Do we have to do one in each conference?
One in each conference. No, I you don't have to, because we're going to move Memphis to the east anyway. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Washington's terrible, but it's Washington.
It's Washington. Yeah.
Orlando is. I love what they're doing.
Yeah,
now.
they're relevant now. Yeah. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, I really don't. What do you think?
I thought you might say Detroit.
I was thinking that,
but they got too much history. Yeah, the bad boys. Like, can you imagine contracting the Detroit
I think I would
Pistons?
get rid of Washington. They didn't have a team for a long time. They were Baltimore.
Wes Unseld.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan in the Wizards uniform back in that. I mean,
exactly. I mean, I know they won in 78.
Yeah, 78. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've just been they're just dragging down the rest of the league to me.
Let me ask you this, because the NBA is talking about, expansion. Vegas will be one of the teams. Seattle or Vancouver?
Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There was kind of a kinship we developed when the Kings almost moved to Anaheim.
Yeah. You're going back. Okay.
Yeah. There was kind of a kinship we developed with Seattle, because oh man, they lost their team to Oklahoma City. They were kind of supporting us. We were kind of supporting them. Then the next thing you know, a couple years later, it's like, wait, they want our team. Hey, what's going on?
Right. No, it's long as it's not Sacramento moving, the Kings moving, Seattle would be a great city to get back into.
Did you ever go up there for NBA?
I did. Well, I used to work in Yakima, Washington.
Okay.
It's about 2.5 hours. And
people rave about how great it was.
Oh, yeah. It was fantastic. And I went when Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, those guys were running things in the mid to late 90s. And I've always had an affinity for the city of Seattle.
It seemed like they had a very special bond. You know the band Pearl Jam?
Of course.
You know what their original name was?
No, what?
Mookie Blaylock.
Was it really?
Yes.
Get out of here.
That was the original name of the band. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Because they loved the Sonics.
Right. The Sonics. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait, from a broadcaster standpoint, to be able to travel back up to Seattle.
Vancouver, that never quite caught on. Their teams were awful.
Big Country Reeves in the company.
Yeah.
Mike Bibby. Yeah.
Sharif,
I told Mike Bibby, we got to get him on real soon here. He says his Grizzlies jersey, still one of the best sellers out there. The Mike Bibby Grizzlies jersey, not the Mike Bibby Kings. He says the Mike Bibby Grizzlies jersey is
Huh.
a very popular jersey still, and he still gets the checks and everything when people buy them and everything. He still gets his proceeds. But
I know until a couple years ago, they may still do this, but I know for a fact up until just a couple years ago at least, the Grizzlies would sometimes wear the Toronto Grizzlies jerseys.
Really?
Even though,
they
I was
would
watching one time, like, those are, because it has like somewhere in the stitching or something, you can see like TOR or something like, or excuse me, Vancouver.
I was about
Toronto.
to say,
I'm sorry.
Vancouver.
Yeah, they wore the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And that was like a forgettable period of time.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah. Rudy Gobert was the subject of the conversation last night with the gang on inside the NBA, Chuck and Shaq talking about Rudy Gobert. We didn't talk about this much. Rudy Gobert was against Minnesota. He was given the money sign after a call that was clearly a foul on him, suggested the game is crooked. The officials are betting on the game. He even said that the officials were cheating for the Kings when they had played the Kings.
Yeah. Do we have that? Do we have that, Jay?
I don't know if we have that.
Because that was, I saw the clip and it was extremely, inside the NBA last night. And it was funny because Shaq didn't want no part of that conversation.
Yeah. I think we have that clip.
That clip.
We don't have Rudy Gobert.
Oh, we don't have
about
Rudy
the Kings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
But this was last night inside the NBA talking about how maybe the NBA should have come down harder on Rudy Gobert.
I got a question for Shaq and Kenny.
Okay.
The Rudy Gobert thing.
What about it?
What did you think about it?
What did he do?
He did that money thing. And got fined.
Oh, you got to fine him.
Why?
Because you're basically insinuating that refs are getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Shaq. I didn't mean to bring up old stuff.
Hold on.
You not agree with that? No, but you're insinuating that refs are getting paid at the game.
I thought he should have got suspended.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Hey, stop it. You're going too far now. No. Going too far. Stop it. Shaq, let me tell you something. The one thing we can never do in sports, ever, is make people think
that the game is not fixed.
It's not fixed. If we ever get to the point, any sport, if they found out, it would ruin the sport. It would ruin the sport of people.
Who's right?
I think the fine is enough right now, but that's pretty much the worst you could do as a player is accuse the league of cheating, of the fix being
Somebody else did that. Did Luka do it or Trae Young? Somebody else did that. I don't think they
this
said
year,
anything
this
afterwards.
Trae.
Trae Young
it was
did.
Trae.
Yeah. But then Gobert doubled down on it after the game.
Yeah, it's 100,000 from a fine standpoint. It may not matter much to Rudy Gobert, but in the pantheon of NBA fines, that's a lot of money to be fined, for something. And I do think what Rudy Gobert did is not helping the league because there are already people out there, a lot of them right here in Sacramento, who say, see, we told you the fix was in. We told you. And now the people on the inside are believing
that's
that
why
too.
they have that stupid last 2-minute
Yeah.
report. I don't know that it helps, but that's why they have it, to try to address that and show that, see, we have transparency. The games aren't fixed.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But, to Rudy Gobert's point, and this is the thing, just because he can't be the only one that thinks that. And if I'm the NBA, that should be concerning to me. Because if he's going to do it, what if somebody else, it's like, how do you combat that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, I think when you look at basketball, we've seen fixing over the years, point shaving and things like that.
We saw it here in 2002.
Exactly. Fourth quarter, we saw it. Seriously. I mean, 27 free throws in a quarter. That's still mind-blowing, mind-boggling. But if I'm the NBA, and it only takes one rogue official. It doesn't have to be a league thing or anything like that. It just takes one person. It could even be a player. I'm not insinuating it is, but I'm saying there's so many different ways to affect the outcome. And now you got gambling involved. The NBA has embraced gambling. It's going to be hard to control, I think.
I don't know that this means anything, but this is true. Bob Delaney was one of those officials in that Game 6, 2002. Mm-hmm. Bob Delaney, he has an amazing story. He was like an undercover cop for many years. He wrote a book about it. So couple years after that, he was going to be on our show on this station to talk about the book. And right before it comes on, our producer, Joe Pittman, says, hey, just so you know, they may ask you something about game 6. He's like, if they do, I won't talk to him. And he said, just so you know, it might come up. So then we go, and here's Bob Delaney. Click.
What?
He didn't even come. He wouldn't even come on the air.
He didn't even want to.
He would not come on. He would not come on the air at all.
Ooh. That's still
it's real.
Dude, here we are 22 years later, and that's still talk about a 30 for 30. We need to do an expose, like what happened that game, that series.
Yeah. Oh, Drake, you wouldn't make it out the studio. First of all, Adam Silver himself would be on the line, and there's no way that would ever leak out. And I think it's because of what Barkley said, fellas. Could you imagine? And we've seen it. We know it's happened. We know, referees have played a part in things that they don't want to talk about. Could you imagine if that came out, how many people would say not only the money situation, but how many stars would come out and be questioning so many things in their career?
And it's two different things potentially, right? One is the officials gambling. The other is the officials tilting the game the way the league wants it tilted.
Right. That's damaging. I want to change gears because I got some breaking news.
Okay.
Here from the Sacramento Kings. Just came across the timeline to feed
like
here.
when it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
Released less than a minute ago. Trey Lyles update. Kings forward Trey Lyles injured his left knee in the second quarter versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Imaging confirms Lyles suffered an MCL sprain. Lyles will be listed as out and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So not back in 2 weeks, reevaluated in 2 weeks. That's a big time blow right there for the Kings.
Yeah, so sprained MCL.
Yep.
All right. Good news is there that it's reasonable to think he could recover in time to be part of the postseason picture, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, but, and be back. So, but let's look at the Kings schedule going forward. What games are we talking he's going to miss? We're up against it. I'll break down the schedule, what it means for the Kings, who's going to fill in for Trey Lyles, who needs to step up. We'll have that coming up next on The Drive, guys. Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. The winds that have been rather gusty will be diminishing as we head through the night tonight. Tomorrow will be a sunny day with light winds. Look for afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
The 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Come drive it. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda. I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience. The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Now we got some less than encouraging news here on the Beam Team. Moments ago, Kyle Draper had the breaking news for us on Trey Lyles.
Yeah, Trey Lyles, who hurt his knee in that second quarter against the Bucks on Tuesday. According to the Kings, imaging confirms Lyles suffered an MCL sprain. He's listed as out and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Not come back in 2 weeks. Reevaluated in 2 weeks. This is a massive blow for Sacramento.
Could be, yeah. MCL, and I'm just reading here. One of the 4 ligaments that keeps the knee joint stable, the end of the femur to the top of the tibia on the inner side of the knee joint. So that's probably the most discouraging thing is, as you say, reevaluated in 2 weeks.
So let me list the games that he most likely will miss. New York, Saturday. Then you have Memphis, at Toronto, at Washington, at Orlando, home against the Sixers, and this Tuesday, March 26th game and the Friday game. That's where I think we'll really miss him against Dallas. 2 games against Dallas, and then you got Utah at the end of the month. That takes you into April. And here's why Trey Lyles will be missed. We know he can shoot the ball. We know he can play that stretch 4. But we've seen Mike Brown have the luxury of going to him at a small ball 5 sometimes now. We don't have that luxury anymore.
Right.
Who would you trust in a small ball 5 position? You know, and I think when you look at this roster right now, and it just hit me, I really hadn't thought about it. But Trey is the only guy that can do what he does for this team.
Every other position, like that guy got hurt. Well, this guy can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as well, but he can do it.
Right.
Or he can do it. But with Trey Lyles, you're right. Who can do what Trey Lyles does? Well, nobody on the roster.
Nobody. And that's why I think and I know he's been struggling with his shot as of late, but Trey Lyles has a compete level to him, a little bit of a nastiness to him. And I think this is a big loss for us.
Could be. On the other hand, the last couple of games, they really haven't missed him Buckley.
No, they haven't. And, your boy Keon might get those, man. Keon's like, wherever you need me, coach. What do you need? I'm there. Oh, so he's like Magic Johnson against the Sixers back in 1980, jumping up at center. That's my boy Keon Ellis. But no, I think, man, and we came into this season with so much depth at certain positions. I'm looking at our forward position. You got Keegan Murray. You got Harrison Barnes. After that, who do you turn to? No Trey Lyles anymore. Who do you go to if you're Mike Brown?
I mean, you could go, and I'm just, off the top of my head, Domas could be a kind of a stretch for, but then who's playing center? I mean, you just don't, the going small thing is you just don't really have a realistic option.
Right. And you don't have Sasha. Sasha's still banged up.
Sasha, we need you to get better.
Right. He's still a couple weeks away, I think.
This would be his opportunity if he was here.
That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Vezenkov.
Mr. Vezenkov. There would be some opportunity for him. I'm looking at the roster. We don't have a 6'9", 6'10" guy. Trey Lyles is our only 6'9" guy. You got Domas. You got, JaVale McGee. You got Alex Len. But other than that, we need more length in that forward spot.
What's Lawson? 6'7"? 6'6"?
Listed at 6'7".
Yeah.
Listed at 6'7". Sasha at 6'8". Like Keegan 6'8". Man, yeah, we're thin up front. I didn't even, Kevin Huerter 6'7", Kessler Edwards 6'7", HB 6'8". We don't have any backup 6'10" guys.
I know a moment ago when we were off the air, Jay asked you a really good question. How come Kessler Edwards doesn't play more? I know Will, when he calls, he asks that. A lot of people wonder, especially when he comes in and, makes a shot or something. Why isn't he playing more, Kessler Edwards?
That's a great question. And the only thing I could think of is that his, offense is inconsistent. But, when you look at Davion, when you look at, Keon, like at times throughout their careers, their offense have sort of been inconsistent. And, when they start knocking down shots like Keon did the other night, then you're like, whoa, I would love to see Kessler Edwards, get a 3 to 5 game run. It's kind of tough right now because you're in the playoff stretch and everything like that. But defensively, he's a good defender. The shot looks good. It just doesn't always fall. He might be a guy in line for some more minutes now with Trey Lyles out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our guess is, you agree with this? I think this is what you just said.
Yeah.
Probably in practice and maybe in the G League games, which maybe you've seen more than I have, but maybe his offense has been not that impressive. And that's why they're not playing him more.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it sounds like, because I think the defense at his size and his strength is a positive.
And like you said, last year, he just came over and they started
him. They started him, right? He was Mike Brown's guy. And so I would like to see him get some run because, we talk so much about 3-and-D guys, and we're seeing it with Keon Ellis, developing in that role. I think, Kessler could do that as well.
I think one of the keys to the rest of the year is that Keegan continues to develop on what he did in the last game. And, you look at his, I know I didn't mean to switch topics so dramatically there, but if you look at his shot attempts, when he gets a lot of shots, he's productive. Keegan is, if he gets the shots, he puts points up.
Right. And, and that's the thing, the gift and the curse of this Kings offense, right? It's an equal opportunity offense. But then that could be a curse because you got certain guys, let's say Keegan, who needs the ball, once his touches, once we want to see him get his shots, but sometimes in the flow of the offense, they might not come. And we've talked about it. We started off the season saying we'd like to see this guy 14, 15, 16 shots a game.
Yeah, only had 13 shots in the last game and scored 19 with 11 rebounds. And there's a lot more there.
Right.
And sure, some of that's on him. He's got to be more aggressive. I understand all that. But there's a lot more there that he can do as we continue to bank, as the franchise, they bank on his improvement.
Yes. And we've always said Keegan is going to be the key to this franchise, going where it wants to go. Because, you look at his length, 6'8", 6'10" wingspan, can shoot the rock. And, we heard Pat Bev just mention it, talk about him. And, players around the league know that Keegan Murray can be that guy. And he may need to be called upon more now with Trey Lyles. Instead of 33 minutes a game, he might have to play 36. Or, they may have to, make up for the loss of Trey with a number of different guys stepping up their minutes.
Let me ask you a stupid question.
Uh-oh.
Has Harrison Barnes ever, and I'm just spitballing here, like, what do we do? Has Harrison Barnes ever played like a small ball 5? I want to say I think he has, but I'm not.
I recall this season him playing some of it. Is it Phoenix or I can't remember which game it was.
He's probably the only guy that could come close to giving you the dimension that Trey Lyles gives you.
And we saw him battling Anthony Davis the other night as well. And so, but I think you could use that in a pinch, but man,
somebody else would have to, would be Kessler. Edwards is going to have to slide
in.
Court,
yeah.
Unless you go with your 3-guard
and
thing.
that's really small.
That's, it's micro.
You're talking a really small lineup. And so I don't know what Mike Brown is going to, I don't, who's a two-way guy? Mason Jones, he's not a power forward, and so Jordan Ford, he's not a power forward. And so they're in a pickle right now, a little jam right now without Trey Lyles.
I think it's a Falcon is the only option you got there.
Yes. And we saw it to start the season. Remember that, they started out the season without Trey Lyles. But my point is they don't have the luxury to go small like they used to.
Mm-hmm. By the way, one more thought on we touched on this earlier. We talked about it yesterday. The fact that in the NBA now they're allowing more fouls. They're not calling as many fouls. Yeah. And we've kind of been on both sides of this. The more I think about it, the more I think that it should help the Kings because they're not a good defensive team. And if they're calling fewer fouls, you have more opportunities to get physical with people to maybe compensate for the fact that it's harder to stay in front of people.
I hear you. And, maybe some more deflections, some more steals, easier offense in that way. Adrian Wojnarowski did come out with a tweet about this very topic. He said the NBA is telling teams that the league office did not deliver a directive to reduce scoring in Tuesday's competition committee call, but this trend will, quote, continue to be monitored. Slower pace, style of play, competitive intensity, officiating focus have been contributing factors identified so far.
You know how leagues are. It's kind of like when baseball changed the ball, but what they said was the ball is still within the specs.
Right.
Well, yeah, but they moved it within the specs, but they said the ball's the same.
Yeah.
And so maybe the league didn't actually literally issue some kind of edict, but that doesn't mean they didn't let it be known to the officials.
Right.
Hey, you might want to let a little more go.
And it's so easy to do that. Like you don't have to call a conference call or have a big meeting or, anything like that. All you got to do is tell what the head of officiating. Yeah, man, this scoring seems way up. I wish we could, curb that a little bit. Oh, let me go,
like Adam Silver's got a 50. I wish there was a way.
Right.
Wish there was a way we could curb scoring.
Right.
What do you think? Did you think of anything?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Wilt holds off Daniel Gafford, but it was close. That's next with the Drive Guys. Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Fox now on the left angle, gets to 2-point range, lobs it out to Herder, wide open. 3 to seal the deal. He's got the triple, and Fox has a career-high 16th assist.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. The winds that have been rather gusty will be diminishing as we head through the night tonight. Tomorrow will be a sunny day with light winds. Look for afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
For beginning golfers, not getting into bad habits gives you a much better chance of enjoying the game and shooting lower scores. John Howells in Golf Monthly says these mistakes should be avoided. First, know your club distances. Take your yardages not from your best or worst shot, but somewhere in the middle. And no dancing allowed. Swaying in the backswing is a common fault, which forces you to compensate in the downswing. Mastering impact. Trust the loft on the club face and don't try to lift the ball. Club face control. For right-handers, take care to set the perfect grip with 2 V's between thumb and forefinger pointing to your right shoulder. Bunker shots. Many struggle here because they fail to open the club face before hitting the shot. Turn the club before you take your grip. And finally, learn how to read greens and hole more putts. Even on a miss, putts that miss above the hole offer more chance of holding the putt. Now go out and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on for Ram Truck Month, Chad?
Well, we're celebrating with the biggest savings of the year on new 2024 Ram 1500 Laramie Limited. I can barely believe it, but right now you can save up to $16,000 off MSRP on one of America's most loved trucks.
Did you say $16,000 off MSRP?
Yep. And we have California's biggest selection of new Ram trucks with over 500 available. Big savings and big selection. That's what's made us California's #1 Ram truck dealer.
Hey, if you're looking for a truck, Hoblet should be your first and only stop to get the truck you need at the price you want. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,012 savings on select new 2024 Ram Laramie Limiteds after $1086 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 1,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from authorized case dealer and 500 first responder cash for current members of eligible First Responder Association. Sample VIN 203287. See dealer for details.
Every beer has a history, but not every beer is as legendary as Coors Banquet. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado. Born of the Rocky Mountains. There's only one beer in the history of beer that has been as stolen, smuggled, and sought after as this one. It's time to find out why. Coors Banquet, brewed in Golden, Colorado, served everywhere. 2022 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Well, Daniel Gafford thought he'd be celebrating times like these with a new NBA record for most consecutive shots made. He came up just short in his effort to break Wilt Chamberlain's record. 1967, Wilt Chamberlain made 35 straight. Gafford came within... Let's see, he made 33 in a row, but then he missed in a game last night. So he had 33 straight over 5 games, missed last night. So that was it. 33 for 34. Streak ended. So he has the second longest streak in NBA history of shots made without a miss, 33 consecutive.
What do we know what kind of shot he missed?
Putback dunk.
It was kind of, it was like, he tipped it. I didn't think it was what I saw. I don't think it was a dunk. I thought it was kind of like a contested putback.
Really?
And he was right there.
I was about to say, like, when you're that close to that streak, you only take shots you know you're going to make, right? Like,
well, I think at least
easy
29
ones.
of his 33
Right,
are dunks or something
right?
like that.
Like, it wasn't like a 17-footer or nothing like that, right?
Right.
Man.
Yeah, he was right there. And it wasn't an easy shot, but it was very close.
He'll always have that story, though. Tell his kids, I almost broke Wilt's record. Then you go to Basketball Reference or NBA.com stats, and you see Wilt Chamberlain in big, bold letters. And underneath, Daniel Gafford.
I think we have it.
We got that play? Let me see that. Let me see
that.
Let me see
your radio audience, but here's Gafford here, the big fella, tips it, goes up.
Oh, dude, you can't do that.
And there he missed, yeah.
You can't do it. Like, was it the first tip? Rewind that, Whitey. Because I think the first tip counts as a shot, right?
I think it was the second shot. Because I don't know. Because he was trying to get the rebound. See, I don't know. And then he gets it right. I think that's the one.
Oh, you think that's the one?
Yeah. But either it's one
Dude,
of
you
those
better
two.
kick that back out to
right
Kyrie
there.
or somebody. Like, what is he doing? Darn. And I like Daniel Gafford. Shoot.
You wanted him here.
Yeah, I love you see that his impact, and I know it's gone downhill a little bit, but his immediate impact on Dallas it's been tremendous. Yeah.
We also talked about Wilt earlier this month because March 2nd was the anniversary of his 100-point game in 62.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody ever going to do that again? Is anybody ever going to score 100 again? It's got to happen eventually, doesn't it? I mean, we're talking forever.
We're talking.
I don't know how long.
Yeah, I mean, I would think.
Especially with the 3-ball.
With the
Somebody
3-ball.
someday is going to make like 33s.
You think? I can't, it won't happen in my lifetime. I don't think. Unless the NBA becomes the all-star game every night where defense it's just you're chucking it up, because the thing about Wilt, he obviously did it with no threes. I think 25? No, how many? 26, 20? No, 32 foul shots that game.
28 for 32, I
Yeah,
think.
28 for 32 was it? Yeah, something. That sounds about right. Like, you also got to do that, too. You also got to get to the line 20 times. Like, even if you make 15 threes, 20 threes, that's only 60 points. Think about that, right? You would hit 20 threes in a game.
Uh-huh.
That's still only 60. Where are you getting the other 40 from? That's a lot, right? Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. You would think, but then here's the thing.
It's amazing that only one guy's even gotten as many as 80.
Right, exactly. But as great of a shooter as Steph Curry is, he hasn't come close. Like, if there's anybody that's going to make 33s, it would be that guy, you would think, right? And he hasn't sniffed it. He hasn't come close.
I just think someday there's going to be a bigger guy, like a LeBron-sized guy who can shoot like Steph. I think that's where it's all headed. I think something like that is inevitable eventually. That's where, and that guy, I don't know who he is.
Right.
He's gonna score.
He might not be born yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a shot.
And I wonder too, because the Wilt game there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. Was it real or not? Like, to get 100, don't your teammates have to sort of be in on it too?
I think so. I know we criticized Cat because they were, what was he trying to get, 60 or 70 or whatever?
Yeah,
they were doing that. But apparently Wilt's teammates is like, like guys would get booed if they shot.
Right.
And somebody else on the team shot the ball.
And when does that, click in your mind, transform from a basketball game to going to get, 100 points? Like, when you hit 60, do you say, oh my God, all right, now let's try to get 100? When you hit 80, like, how do you get to that point? One thing we talked about before, and I actually had a chance to talk to Leandro Barbosa about it. Remember the Devin Booker 70-point game, and they had the picture, and Leandro Barbosa was in it.
Yeah.
I asked Leandro Barbosa about that picture, and if you can, guys, go out there and Google Devin Booker 70 against Boston. I'm like, Leandro, what the heck were y'all thinking, man? And he's like, Kyle, Devin Booker was a young player at the time, and we did it for him. It was supposed to stay in-house. We wanted to celebrate him as a young player who had a tremendous game. And so it was more designed to sort of, build some goodwill and, strengthen those bonds between Booker and his team and everything, the organization. Because at the time, it wasn't like Phoenix of today with championship aspirations. Like the Suns at that time, they still hadn't found themselves, and Devin Booker was a young player. And so he said that picture was never supposed to get out, actually, and somehow it got out.
If you had to pick a guy now, it's like you got to pick him, most likely guy playing now to score 100. And we know it's probably not gonna, but if you had to pick one, who would be your pick? Jay, who would be your pick? My guy, most likely playing now to score 100.
I mean, Luka just had 70 something,
and
he's still young.
I was thinking Ant-Man. I don't know. I could just see.
Yeah, that was the first one I thought about. Was
fixating
Ant-Man.
on that, just having a really hot first quarter, and then just making up his mind. Oh, I'm getting 100 tonight.
Yeah, but
you know what you need though, and you got to have like 25, 30 free throws, almost like Kobe.
Right, that's what I was saying.
And then you also got to be able to shoot the three very well.
Yes.
The first one that was Ant-Man. The other one for me was SGA, just because people cry about him getting to the line so much.
Yeah.
And he can get hot.
Man, I'm looking at this Luka 73-point game, fellas. He only hit 8 threes in that game.
Really?
He only made 15 foul shots. It wasn't like he, hit 13 threes and went to the line 30 times. 25 of 33 overall. He might be the guy. I could see a game where he hits 13 threes, where he gets to the line 20 times. And if you're a player and somebody's cooking you like that, you're doing all you can to stop him from scoring, which may lead to more fouls.
Right.
And so I would say Luka.
And they still lose.
And they still lose, right?
Nah,
Can you imagine
I like
100
that.
and lose, though? Oh, my God.
I think if Luka scored 100, I would have to stop watching basketball.
Don't say that.
He's always
say that.
complaining for fouls and everything. And so if he gets them, I could see a game in which he hits 20 free throws, 13 threes. That's 59 right there. It could happen, man.
Booker's up there, though. He's close, right? He's got to be in the top 5.
Do it?
No.
Somebody was saying Wemby on the chat. Could Wembanyama do it?
Ooh.
If he was more dominant,
because he makes when we were getting ready for the Spurs game, when the announcers told us he's shooting 42% or 45% from 3 since the All-Star break. So he's a good shooter too. Yeah.
If he had,
the NBA would go crazy
if he did it. If he was built like Shaq and could shoot, like to your point, somebody built like LeBron with a jump shot. Like Wemby has the jumper, but he's a little slight of frame, and so I think it's a little more difficult for him to score.
I wish you hadn't said that about Luka. I never thought about that.
And the dude is still young. He's under 25, you know?
Curtis 6 says, I agree, 100 will never be broken.
Yeah.
Isn't it inevitable at some point, though? If they keep playing, somebody's going to do it, aren't they? Somebody.
And who knows? It might be, what if the NBA, and I know it sounds bizarre, 10 years from now, let's introduce the 4-point shot or something like that. You know what I mean? Guys are shooting logo threes. Yeah. Let's make that 5 points or something like that. You never know.
25 4-point shots.
Right.
Good night.
You never know, man.
What about Ja? Because I'm looking for someone that doesn't mind being on, for the lack of phrase, a ball hog for a game, and who's gonna,
he's got the ball.
They got to shoot the ball, right?
Luka already have the ball. You don't have to rely on someone feeding them.
100 is a lot, though.
That is.
That's a lot.
But he controls the ball a lot. He doesn't mind shooting. He doesn't mind.
He's not a great 3-point shooter.
No.
Anybody can have one of those nights.
Get hot.
Yeah, that's not his forte. He's gotten better though, and he gets the line right. Because the thing that scares me about him has nothing to do with 100 is he just flies. He goes up and he soars through the air.
Yeah.
And what goes up must come down. And it just scares me every time he goes up.
He weighed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iverson.
Iverson. Yeah. Reckless abandon, no concern for their body.
Yeah. We got college basketball, March Madness just around the corner. So Jay asked this question earlier today. Great question. Why doesn't college basketball matter the way it used to? That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Flooring is your game. We'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Drive.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
With conference championships around the corner, now's the time to register for the Dos Million Bracket Challenge. Sign up now at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Then fill out your bracket before the tournament tips off March 21st. Hey, Sacramento, get ready for a lineup that's not just hitting home runs, but delivering laughs and legendary tunes. It's the Sactown Sports Live Events Calendar, where entertainment takes center stage. First up, on March 22nd, get ready for a night of hilarity as the comic genius Hannibal Buress takes the spotlight at the historic Crest Theater. And on March 23rd, the laughs keep coming with the one and only Dimitri Martin at the Crest Theater. It's a comedy doubleheader that's sure to score big with your funny bone. Visit livenation.com or Ticketmaster to score your tickets. And don't miss the Jacksons with Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine with all your favorite hits, plus Sister Sledge and the Tramps, all March 30th at Thunder Valley. But wait, sports fans, the excitement doesn't end there. On August 4th, the Outlaw Music Festival rides into the Toyota Amphitheater, featuring legends like Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. It's a musical grand slam you won't want to miss. Keep the adrenaline pumping, Sacramento. Visit SactownSports.com for all the details and ticket information.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We're focused, of course, on the NBA and the Kings tomorrow night. Just in the middle of an interesting conversation about, hey, is anybody going to score 100 again? Looks like Wemby gets a number of votes here in the chat. And you're going Luka, huh?
Yeah, I'm going Luka. I think, we looked at his 73-point game. I looked at the box score. He was 25 of 33 in that game. He only made 8 3-pointers. We're talking about, it has to be somebody that knocks down a whole lot of threes, 12, 13, 15 threes. He only hit 8 in that game. Went to the line, I think, 15 times, 15 to 16 from the free throw line. And so I think Luka, he scored 73 on what seemed like a relatively light night. Like, I could see him getting up 45 shots, knock it down 28 of them, 30, 10 threes, foul line. I think Luka is my guy on that.
On the one hand, to me, it seems inevitable. You keep playing, at some point, somebody's going to do it. On the other hand, if only one guy's done it, and even Kobe, Kobe would have been just obsessed with the idea. You would think he only got to 81, and I think his next highest was 61. That was Kobe.
Yeah.
So
it might be impossible, right? Because the thing is,
maybe the game has just changed too much.
And I think, and I question that, because Wilt had such an advantage. So the game plan was give it to Wilt back then, I would imagine. In today's NBA, you got to start off like that, kind of. Like, you can't be third quarter, I'm at 60. Let me try, like your teammates got to be involved. It has to be a coordinated effort where you get fed time and time again.
It might depend, too, on it being a guy that was well-liked by his teammates. So they would recognize it and want to help him.
So what you saying, Luka's out, or? Oh, no. I'm just.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
But again, with them, it's like, it doesn't matter what I think of him. I never get the ball. He's got the ball all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's that might be one of those records that never gets broken. You would think, yes, but we talked about it. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, never came close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, man. Like, and the thing about it, it's like, and I would have loved, I wish there was video, because I'd love to see, like, you ever play with your kids or something, and, they're all trying to jump up and grab your arms. That's how I feel like it was for Wilt back then. You just pass it to him, he turns around, drops it in. Yeah. Pass it to him, turns around. Like, you got to be efficient, too, to get to that number, I would imagine.
Yeah, when, like we said, we just had the anniversary March 2nd, and I was reading about it, and I guess he got to like 70 or 80, and people going 100, and Wilt's like, dude, I just scored 80. Isn't that? I'm getting tired. But there's no, like you say, there's no film of it, but there's actually the radio call.
The radio call. No, I haven't. I need to check that out.
It's a dipper dunk, and the ball goes to Wilt, and he turned, and he's got 90 now. It's another dipper dunk.
Did Wilt play defense that game? Did he cross half court, or did he, Like, I wish there was video proof evidence of that.
The weird thing is, apparently Wilt said, years later, he said they never actually finished the game. He said, we got to 100, and then everyone went crazy. They never finished the game. But there's evidence that they did in the radio broadcast as the end of the game. So even he misremembered when it actually happened.
Yeah, that would be a sight. I mean, 73 by Luka, that's a lot. Kobe's 81. You still had 19 points to go. Like,
it's going to be Wemby.
Or let me ask you this, though. Does multiple overtimes factor in? Like, let's say it's a 3 overtime game, then it becomes a possibility even more so. I think it would have to be something like that too.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to be at the line. Luka's going to be at the line with 99, game on the line, 100 on the line. Clink,
clink. Oh, shoot.
You excited about March Madness? You excited about the big college basketball weekend, conference tournaments? Here we go.
I'm bad, man. I used to love college basketball. I did it for work, when I worked in Louisville, big college town. I don't even know who's number 1, number 5. Like, I used to be into it. Not so much anymore.
Mm-hmm. Jay was saying what'd you say? You fill out your bracket now like your mom fills it out? Or something?
Yeah, most of the time who wins the bracket pool is someone's girlfriend or mom or coworker who doesn't watch, and they're just, my daughter's ex-boyfriend went to Marquette, so I'm picking Marquette and wind up winning.
Right.
Like, that's how I'm at it right now. I'm just trying to put something, put the paint where it ain't, Whitey. I don't even know, man. Like, I know a few teams, I know a player or two, but I mean, and this that I ask you guys, I flip it back to you. Can you guys, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, could you name 10 guys in college basketball?
Right now, I could not.
5.
No, I have not.
Wow.
I just haven't been following it.
Yes.
But But a lot of it also has to do with the fact that now, I'm more of an NBA fan, as a lot of people are. And so many of the top players now don't even go to college. They're going to, like Wemby from overseas or overtime elite
or something like that. And, I probably may be able to name 5. It's interesting because a buddy of mine lives in the Bay. He's coming up. He's like, yo, where you going to watch those tournament games? Let's get together. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've totally forgot. I said, I probably won't even watch them. There'll be background noise, but it used to be appointment viewing where I'd sit down, have it on, following my brackets. Like, I can't remember the last time I did a bracket, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, there was a time when, let's say, the ACC, you had to win your conference to get into the tournament.
Right.
The ACC.
Yeah.
Great teams.
Yeah.
You had to have great games.
Yep.
So a conference tournament, that really
That
mattered.
meant something.
And now it's like, everyone's getting in anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just a really elongated preseason, basically.
Yeah. What happened to the college game, though? Like, did we change or the game and the coverage changed?
What happened was when we got to the points where there's, one and dones, so that the best players didn't have to go to college or they didn't have to go there very long, then there was less of a reason to watch it. If you go to the school, you're on the team, you cover your school, that's probably hasn't changed that much for you. But as far as it being as big an event where you get to see the best players, young players in the world, this is where you had to see them. It's just not that way anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even, and we talk about the draft. I don't even know who's the projected number 1 overall pick right now. Like, and I guess, being in Sacramento now, we're focused on the playoffs and the NBA season. Once that's over, then we'll turn our attention to the draft and who's out there. But back in the day, even when I was in Boston, when we had a down year, like that was something we focused on. And when you're an NBA team and you're winning, it's like you don't even focus on college anymore. I'll be honest, it's hard for me to focus on much of anything outside of basketball when the season is going on.
But
it's tough.
But Drapes, though, and Whitey, the point of it, though, is even though you guys are NBA guys, even if you went back 10 years ago, we still heard names.
Yeah.
Like they still would resonate. You'd see them on the 4-letter. You would pop up, like you would hear this guy's coming this way, and this is the next guy to look for. I mean, besides Zach Edey or whatever, you don't really hear anything for the most part, know. And it's just so strange that you can't even, and I barely probably could name 5. And I love college sports. I'm a huge college football guy, but basketball has really lost me, and it's because of what you guys have talked about. It's just
if you were
so many different places.
You played baseball, right? If you were a basketball player, you knew you were going to be a basketball player. Would you go to college or would you go somewhere where you're going to get paid and start honing your professional craft?
Right. Yeah. But the thing too is we don't get to see these young players, these up and comers, like the Thompson twins,
Yeah.
I never really watched them at Overtime Elite. I didn't get to see their games or anything like that.
Remember last year when Wemby played Scoot
Yes,
twice?
yes.
And it was like,
big
it was
thing.
2 games.
It was 2 games, yeah. And so I think now with the college game, if I worked in Louisville again, it would be, I would be into it. I just don't think the college player, like even Zach Edey, he's not sexy. He's not, Sports Center top 10. He's not, like you look at the women's game, Caitlin Clark, I'm more interested in checking out
point.
than Zach Edey right now.
In some ways is more interesting.
Yeah, the women's game is more interesting
because they have stars, right?
Yeah.
The stars are still there.
Yeah, the women's game, and when I was in Minnesota, they're having a Big Ten tournament. The Big Ten men's was not sold out. The women sold out. Can't get a ticket to see Caitlin Clark in them. And it's just a different vibe. And it kind of makes me sad. I was wearing the UCLA shirt. People like, oh, you went to you like you. I'm like, I loved UCLA growing up. I went down there and watched the UCLA USC game. Those mighty programs have fallen off. UCLA's fallen off. It's just a different era and a different game now.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's take Ramsey real quick here, and we'll take a timeout. Ramsey, what's going on?
Not too much. Jay and you guys said name 5 to 10 players in college basketball. I could do that easily.
All right, go ahead. Go
ahead. And don't name your favorite team starting 5. Don't even do that.
No. First one you need to watch out for, he's going to be a star. To me, is Dalton Connect from Tennessee.
All right, I heard of him.
He went to Northern Colorado, just transferred to Tennessee this year. That dude can shoot. I mean, you said Zach Edey. That's another one. You got Armando Bacot and R.J. Davis from North Carolina. You got Mike Bibby's nephew, who is Eddie House's son, Jalen House, with Jamal Mashburn's son in New Mexico. You got at Nevada Reno, you got dude Jared Lucas that transferred from Oregon State to Nevada. If you want to say USC, and I'm not even going to go Bronny, you got Dennis Rodman's son, DJ. Their best player on their team, even though USC really isn't doing much, is Boogie Ellis. Caleb Love is transferred from North Carolina to Arizona. You got Ryan.
Oh, he's how many is he on right now?
Yeah, he's done it. Ramsey.
All right, Ramsey. Appreciate you, baby.
You're our official college basketball correspondent now. Thank you, Ramsey. I forgot Bronny. I could.
Yeah.
Bronny. Yeah, we got that.
Boogie Ellis.
Hunter
Dickinson.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, Hunter Dickinson.
People with Caleb Love. There's some guys, but my thing with that is any of these pushing the meter for you guys?
Not really.
Like right now, let's just say fantasy land, Sacramento Kings get the number 1 pick. Who you picking?
Purvis Ellison.
There it was. That's the point. I mean, and again, this is from someone who loves college sports.
Right.
It's fallen off.
I'll tell you how the decline of college hoops, or at least its popularity, has hurt the game at every level. When we come back, Drive Guys Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
The college game doesn't have the star power that it used to have. Let's just check the Ringers mock draft here. Oh, the Kings don't have a first-round pick this year, do they? Because that's going to convey to
Atlanta. It better convey, right? It better convey to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Something doing terribly wrong.
Shouts out to Ramsey even knowing 10 college ball players,
right?
Man.
He was just getting warmed up.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so according to the Ringer, you got the number 1 pick, and they have it going to the Spurs here. Obviously, we have no idea. Reed Shepherd, Kentucky. And then the French guy, Zachary Rissache, second. Alex Sarr from France, third. Stephon Castle, UConn, fourth. And then Ron Holland, G League Ignite, fifth. So of those top 5, you only got 2 guys that are playing college basketball right now. Yeah. So
that's tough. Yeah.
So you lose a lot of the star power.
Will you guys be watching the tournament? We talked about brackets. Will you actually be watching the games?
Yes, not with as much at stake or, don't necessarily have a dog in the fight. It's basketball. It's basketball, especially in elimination games. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to have that real rooting interest. I don't think I'm filling out a bracket.
I'm going to cheat the system, fellas. I'm going to watch like 10 minutes left in the second half. each game. That's when it get funky anyway. Like, that's when it really matters.
Like, but I'm not going to be having my bracket in hand.
No,
and, watching. Oh, come on, this 5-12 matchup.
Man, I'm throwing pinning the tail on a donkey, fellas. I'm just hunting.
Jay, this mock draft proves your point, because number 6, they got a guy from Lithuania, G League Ignite. 7th projected pick is a guy who plays in France. Then they got a Kentucky freshman, Rob Dillingham. Then you got a guy from Serbia, Nikola Topic is 9th, and then a UConn sophomore 10th. So that's only 3 or 4 of the top 10 players in the first round of the draft are playing college basketball right now.
And here's another thing too, fellas. Who would you say is the best player in college basketball right now, men's college basketball?
The best player in college basketball right now?
Right now.
I don't know.
Jay, who would
probably
you say?
Edey.
It's
probably
Edey.
Edey.
He was the player of the year last year. I think he'll be it this year as well.
Yeah, him or Dalton.
I'm on this one site, NBAdraft.net. I used to use that a lot when I studied the draft. They have him projected 45th overall.
What?
This is supposed to be the best player in college basketball. And Whitey, you got your list. What you got?
They got him 20.
They got him 25 on his, 45 on mine. Think about that. This is supposed to be. This is like Danny Manning. This is like, you know what I mean? Ralph Sampson. But going second round, maybe?
That's terrible.
That tells you what you need to know right there about college basketball.
And he's like 7'2", 7'3".
7'3" with a 7'11" wingspan.
And he's going in the second round.
Allegedly. Second round, late first round. This is the face of college basketball, supposedly.
In my opinion, the fact that you've got so many guys like playing G League Ignite now, there aren't as many guys playing in the structured college system. And I think that's why we tend to have more guys coming out playing in the NBA who don't have the great basketball training. They're learning to develop their individual skills and not necessarily learning to play the game as well as players in the past. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, it's different now.
A lot more players coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally different. And now guys are, about getting buckets and especially when you look at the decline of the college game. And I forget who I was talking to about this the other day. And we were talking about 4-year players and how there's this, sort of knock on them that they had to stay in college 4 years. But this person I was talking to, an NBA exec, was like, but he comes in ready-made. Look at Jaime Jaquez from UCLA. He can contribute immediately on a winning team. And so meanwhile, you got all these guys from Overtime Elite, G League Ignite, 1 year in college, and they aren't developed yet. Like,
and you don't know for sure what you're getting.
What you're going to, it could still go either way. It's more of a crapshoot because you don't get to see these guys a whole lot. Whereas a 4-year college player, you know who Jaime Jaquez is. You've seen him, but not a lot with these one and dones and young players anymore.
Look at where Wiseman went, and Tyrese Halliburton went in the same draft.
Yeah, think about that. Yep. And Gabriel Johnson brings up a good point. Remember Drew Timme at Gonzaga?
Yeah.
He says he wasn't even drafted last year. Drew Timme was like one of the best players in college basketball. But I know he was 40. I know he was. He had some kids. His own kids. He was suiting up against. He had great blood. I understand that, but this dude was the man in college and don't even get a sniff of a draft.
Drew Timme, the first player to play in the Final Four against one of his own children.
I know. Oh my gosh, man. It is crazy.
And I remember, I think this was the State of the Union during the All-Star for Adam Silver or whatever he calls that. He was talking about they don't know what they're going to do with the G League Ignite because now, the NIL's there and kids can get paid in college. And you said, like the NBA is trying to figure out what to do with the G League Ignite.
Right.
So it's just interesting. I look at it like, man, college, for all the money that's being spent right now, college football is leaps and bounds above college basketball, which you couldn't have said that even 10 years ago. I think, a decade ago. It's just interesting. None of these guys are moving the needle anymore.
You know what I don't understand? Maybe you guys can explain. so many NBA players now, they'll go to school for 1 year, right? For the most part, almost all of them go 1 year, but they are like diehard, whatever it is, like Kentucky, man. They went there 1 year, probably never went to class. Right. You better not say anything bad about my Wildcats. You were barely there. I don't understand.
Checks were cashing, Whitey.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Loyal to your employer.
Right,
exactly. You're loyal to your employer, So I think I would imagine, when you look at college sports, I think we're getting older, fellas. I think, if 25-year-olds, I think they know, like tournament time, gambling, betting.
Sure.
Like they know who the players are. They know who the teams are. I think part of it, too, is we're just getting older and it's not as important to us anymore. We got kids, we got jobs. We got a lot of other things going on in our lives right now.
Yeah, that's true. But Jay made a great point, or you made it. It came out based on what Jay was saying. There are bigger stars in women's basketball, college basketball, than men's. I hadn't realized that before, and it's absolutely true.
It's been that way for at least the last 3 or 4 years. And that's because we know women still go 4 years for the most part. I'm thinking, has anyone jumped as a junior? I can't think of anyone.
No,
in women's college.
It's weird now because of the COVID year and all that, the eligibility and everything. Well, let me ask you this. Who makes stars? Do the players make the stars or do the media make the stars? You know what I mean? Like
little both.
If ESPN was highlighting Zach Edey every night, like pumping him up, or Dillingham or Shepard or somebody like that, would it be, or is it because we see Caitlin Clark all the time?
But also Caitlin Clark can't break Pete Maravich's record if she's only going to school for 1 year, right?
That's true. Yeah. You're right. And I feel like she might be sort of an outlier. But then we know who Angel Reese is.
Yeah.
We know who that is. And I just think it's weird how that, I think to your point, Whitey, the one and done is sort of, and this is what people who were fighting against it talked about 20 years ago, has changed college sports.
I don't blame them. I think it's bad for the college game, but I think it should be their right.
Yeah,
I don't
just
even
the way
think
it
they should
is.
have to go for one.
No, I'm with you on that. I 100% agree on that. And I could see why the, NCAA is against NIL, is against, the one and done. I could see exactly why, because they're trying to protect their business model, even though they're supposed to be a nonprofit or whatever. Like they're trying to protect their business model. And so it's, I look at what happened to the Pac-10, Pac-12, and I see college sports just becoming the big schools, and the little guys are going to be left behind. They'll still have their teams, but they won't have the TV packages maybe. It won't be, like you look at college football right now, outside of the, playoff or the Big Five conferences, do people, care? Bowl games, for instance. Do people care about the December 15th bowl or whatever it is anymore?
Yeah, just if you went to that school or you're
Right.
really involved in
That's
that
it.
school. But why doesn't college basketball, this has nothing to do with the popularity per se. Why don't they play quarters? High school, you play quarters, right? NBA, you play quarters. But college basketball, we're going first half, second half. That's just dumb.
Does that bother you?
Yeah, I just think it's
been
dumb.
like that forever,
I
though.
know,
right?
but
Like,
that's still like, come on, get with the times. Right?
Actually,
in high school, you play
I like
quarters.
the halves
Do
because
you?
I look at women's basketball and I'm like, why are they doing quarters? They should do halves. Like it bothers me
It's
that
like,
the women are different.
Sometimes if there's a game that's not that good, it's like 13 minutes left in the second half.
It's still the same amount of time,
I
Whitey.
know,
It's
but
not-
I need a break. If you break it up, it's
All
more
right,
digestible.
you need some more commercials or something like that.
Fellas, real quick, think about this. And with the NIL coming back, I think we've kind of been in a lull with the overtime, the G League Unites, all that type of stuff. I do think like the next generation, though, is going to bounce back to college because now you're getting paid. And I see like, nothing against overtime elite. I could see some of those type of, going across overseas or going to overtime elite or some of these prep schools that don't have big names. I could see some of those things start to dwindle down because now, look, I can get paid going to college.
Right.
I'll do my year
that's
there.
true. That's
so I
true.
could see them kind of bouncing back
Right.
again.
When we come back to the Kings and the Knicks, I'll tell you about one Nick, the Kings must stop tomorrow, and it's not the Nick you would think. Next to the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Pepper, inside the lane, step back 17, forgot it, nothing but net for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. The winds that have been rather gusty will be diminishing as we head through the night tonight. Tomorrow will be a sunny day with light winds. Look for afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
It's Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you want a deal that's a slam dunk, go see the winning team at Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is your truck headquarters with all your American-made favorites, like America's best-selling F-Series, F-150s, and Super Duties, or spacious new Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford, right here in Sacramento. You can buy any new Ford with zero down on approved credit, save big with low interest finance rates, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Check out the huge selection of inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership to see their most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. They'll help you out. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 35 years and counting.
Ever since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my hiding spots.
Ha! Found you.
How?
That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Now through March 21st, get started with 200 megabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Big tech and social media have likely created many millionaires, but are other non-financial effects occurring? According to a study by Credit Karma, 29% of Americans now say they are feeling left behind their peers financially due to social media developing what is known as money dysmorphia. This is more prevalent among younger Americans, with 43% of Gen Z and 41% of millennials feeling the struggle. Surprisingly, many of those who experience this have above average savings. These feelings aren't uncommon, as only 14% of Americans consider themselves wealthy, with more than half of those earning over $100,000 annually saying they live paycheck to paycheck. Between inflation and social media pressure, the confidence and buying power has been reduced. Comparing yourself to your own financial goals and setting attainable checkpoints to monitor success could help alleviate these feelings. Looking back towards your progress versus forward could also bring a sense of satisfaction, allowing you to maintain your discipline, which could likely lead to better personal outcomes. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We were just talking about college basketball, and kind of buried the headline. Here's the headline tonight at 8:30 on Sactown Sports. UC Davis taking on Hawaii in the Big West Tournament semifinals, baby.
That's the headline.
Yeah.
That's tonight. What's that on?
It's on 8:30 here.
You can listen to it here.
And here on our station, and
You can
Probably
stream it on
ESPN.
ESPN.
ESPN. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Final? Semifinal?
Semi.
Okay.
Semi. Also, we have other news for you.
Uh-oh.
Marcus Morris.
My guy, what?
Signing with. Signing with.
It's not the Kings. We don't have a roster spot.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Come on, Kings.
That hurts. That's my guy, dude. Like,
Trey-
literally, that's my guy.
With Trey being out, that was perfect.
That was perfect. If we could get Marcus Morris, I mean, that dude is my guy. He played in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And we had beef.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, like, that's the trifecta.
Why didn't you talk
right
to
there.
Monty?
That's it.
You just texted Mike Brown today. Why didn't you?
I did text Mike Brown. Well, he texted me first. You know,
Uh-huh.
he reached out to Drapes first. But no, you're right. I'm going to call Monty up and be like, dude, why didn't you get Marcus Morris? That's the guy.
Uh-huh.
That's who we need. Toughness, physicality, can shoot the three from Philly.
Why didn't you call Marcus first? You should have called.
Nah, I think he got a different number. I think he changed his number. I mean,
Got another update for you. Guess who the Rams' new backup quarterback is?
Rams backup.
And I wouldn't ask
quarterback.
you if it was just, some
Oh,
guy
my
like
guy, Jimmy Garoppolo.
James Richard Garoppolo.
That dude's still in the league, huh?
Yeah,
I thought he
is.
was done. I thought it was over. It was a wrap. He's going to the Rams, huh?
What a day to be a Rams fan. We lost Aaron Donald, but we got Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, man. That's a fair trade-off, right? You know, it's
I like Jimmy. I just think all the injuries at some point, they all kind of add up. And it's not a matter of he keeps getting hurt. It's just they take a toll on you physically.
yes. And the dude got hit. He got hit a lot. He got banged around. He got his bell rung, as they say. Man, so the backup quarterback of the Rams, Jimmy
Backing up
Garoppolo.
Stafford. And you got a really good backup quarterback today.
Kenny Pickett, a young guy too
Yes.
at that. I'm shocked.
22 first-round pick?
Did we give up too much for him, though? What did you say? Fourth rounder?
It was similar to what Seattle gave up to get Howell from Washington. And you got a pick, too. You gave up, I think, 3 picks and got a pick and him. So
that's all right.
Your team's going for it, though. No question about
Kenny
that.
Pickett. Is this a trade chip at some other point or something? Like,
I think it's like, hey, with Jalen, who knows? We got to be ready for it. I think your team is zeroing in on this
year,
freaking year.
we're going for it, right? I'm with you on that. And so
it's too bad because it's not going to work. But I, appreciate and understand the
not going to work.
determination.
Meanwhile, the Niners got like 40 defensive ends that they're signing. I'm like,
I know.
how many times? Like, seriously, Jay, over the last season and a half, year and a half, how many defensive linemen do you guys need, bro? Like, it's like,
add it up.
What was Buddy Ryan's defense to
46?
Yeah, they're gonna play
like seriously, dude. We're going I'm like, my gosh, every day I feel like there's a new defensive lineman signing with the Niners.
There's easily almost 10.
Easily,
like 10
right?
for sure.
Y'all corner in the market like it's the pandemic out
Remember
here.
the 46?
Toilet paper or something.
Nobody could
Solve.
even move the ball.
Yeah.
And now if you tried that,
Dude, they'll pick it apart.
I know.
It's you got skill guys all over. The coordinators are better than ever before. They're innovative now, So
all right. So we also have news on the Kings today, which wasn't great news that Kyle had for us earlier.
yeah, you want me to deliver that?
Sure.
Big
For those who
news
haven't heard,
came out about an hour and 10 ago. My guy, Trey Lyles, who hurt his left knee in the second quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks Tuesday, had some imaging and it confirmed he has suffered an MCL sprain. He'll be listed as out and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're right. You made the point earlier, and I'm glad you did because a lot of people tend to misread that and they think, oh, he's out 2 weeks. Well, it doesn't say he's out 2 weeks.
Right.
It says he's at least 2 weeks before they even take another look.
Yes. And remember last year we talked about the Kings and their injury fortune, if you will. This year, and I need to look it up, they've battled some injuries. And, you look at Sasha and just his injury, and I know he wasn't a huge part, but he's missed half the season. Trey Lyles, remember, missed the first 14 games, I think it was. And now De'Aaron Fox, Keegan, like guys have been out. The only guy, Domas and HB, they've been, Ironman, and we know Domas is banged up. We could see that, the punishment that dude's taken. But the fact that the Kings are where they are, Whitey, considering a stronger Western Conference, considering some of the injuries, I'm saying it's been a good season for the Sacramento Kings right now.
It's up right now.
Yes, right now.
Yeah, I would agree. You mentioned Keegan. How did he get hurt again? This relates to another one of your guys, from what I'm hearing. How did Keegan get hurt?
No, he got hurt in the
Rockets
game. Yeah. No, it was like a loose ball or something under the basket.
Somebody step on him?
Was it Dylan Brooks?
That's what's.
I need to look back at the
that's
video.
what I'm hearing.
I need to look
honest,
back.
I didn't catch it at the time.
Yeah, I didn't catch it at the. No, I didn't. I need to go back and look because I'm not buying it because somebody would have made a big. Don't give me that look,
huh?
You're like that's your boy Drapes. I'm saying that had to be.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I need to pull the video, as Mike Brown says. Let me look at the tape. Let me look at the video, and I'll let you know. Did he really? Did you see it?
Did you
go back and look?
But I've heard there's been references to it on social media. I honestly don't know. I thought you would know, and maybe if you don't know, maybe there was nothing to it. But then you would be one that would cover up for your guy Dylan Brooks.
No, why? If he stepped on my guy Keegan Murray, come on now. I mean, Keegan Murray is my guy, man. So I wouldn't cover up. Man, I'm looking at this. This can't be right. I'm looking at the NBA man games lost. And this is saying the Sacramento Kings, and this is on Spot Rack, have been the third healthiest team, third fewest man games lost in the league.
I think it's just because last year they were so healthy. This year looks like, wow.
Right. It feels like they've
had more, but they've still been pretty healthy.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that like, and I'm looking at, meanwhile, they say the Kings have had 84 games lost because of injury. The Grizzlies, 409 games. Like, dang. You look at the top three teams, Memphis, Portland, and Charlotte. Those are three of the worst teams in the league.
Where'd you say the Kings rank?
27th, 28th.
And you want to be 30th, right? That's one you
want to 30. That's the healthiest. Oklahoma
right.
City has been the healthiest team at 69 games lost by me.
Have all the healthier teams done well?
Utah.
They're tanking.
Indiana. Minnesota. And that's going to change a little bit because of the cat injury. Boston. Detroit. They're just bad. They're just bad. Sorry, Detroit. You guys have been healthy all season long. Ain't no excuse there. Golden State is actually on this list. This is due to injuries, not suspension or anything like that.
By the way, check of the scoreboard here. Late third, the Suns are winning. Yeah, they're up. Actually, they're going to score again here.
I
think they're going to score in this possession.
How's the box score ahead, like this far ahead of the live broadcast?
I like them to score 2.
Oh, dude.
So they're up 22, late third. And then we got the Clippers visiting the Pels.
Oh, who do we want? We want the Clippers, right?
Yes, we do.
Right?
It's 24-23 early in that game.
Think about this, Whitey. Pelicans lose tonight.
24-23 in the second quarter? Yeah.
Rock fight.
Yeah.
Pelicans lose, Kings win. Tie for, even though they have the tiebreaker, but after that, anything's possible then.
All right. But you got to beat the Knicks tomorrow. And we mentioned this earlier. One guy that the Kings have to stop tomorrow, Josh Hart. 6'4" Josh Hart. Control the backboards will be crucial tomorrow. And Josh Hart, his last 5 games, and he's 6'4", his last 5 games, 8 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 11, 19, and 15 rebounds.
So that's the guy we got to keep.
Rebounding marvel.
That's the guy we got to keep off the glass. And he's an effort guy, too.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to match his effort out there?
That's a good test for the Kings because they all have to be effort guys now.
They all have to be.
That's got to be the identity.
My guy, Keon Ellis. You know, Keon Ellis, even though
I wish I'd listened to you sooner.
I've been telling you about Keon Ellis for about 3 hours now.
Long time,
right?
Grapes. Oh man, I wish I'd listened. Is he going to be starting soon?
No.
Okay.
And I real quick, Kevin Herter, Keegan Murray, full participants in practice today.
Okay, because Herter had the contusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, and Keegan had the ankle
Dylan Brooks
situation.
injury.
Yeah, the Dylan Brooks got stepped on like Draymond style. Come on.
Ever seen an NBA coach try to
stomp?
Have you ever seen an NBA coach try to block a shot before? It happened last night. More on that. We'll wrap things up here. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
March Madness is here, and the UC Davis Aggies have earned the 2 seed for the Big West Tournament.
Pepper, inside the lane, step back, 17-footer, got it, nothing but net for Eli Pepper. The man is unstoppable, and the Aggies lead.
Join us Friday night at 8:30 as UC Davis looks to advance to the conference championship. Follow the Aggies' quest to reach the big dance. Friday at 8:30 right here on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. The winds that have been rather gusty will be diminishing as we head through the night tonight. Tomorrow will be a sunny day with light winds. Look for afternoon temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We need you to explain this, Kyle Draper. At least I do.
I got you.
Never seen anything like this. Late in the fourth quarter of the Celtics game against the Suns, you had a Jaylen Brown steal and a dunk, and then Royce O'Neal, after there's a timeout, he's trying to shoot a three-pointer, and Coach Mazzulla's out there trying to block it. Come on, what? The coach comes out, because it's timeout, so he can come on the floor, but he comes out and raises his arm, and he's trying to block Royce O'Neal's shot. What's going on? What? What?
Dude, if you guys haven't seen this, look it up right now. It's one of the –
I've never seen it.
It'd be different if he was joking around with a player, one of his former players, get that shot out of here, joking. Like, he literally didn't want this player to make this shot. And it was timeout had been called. Guys are walking to the bench. The player throws it up. And here comes Mazzulla with like a big fly swatter. It looks coming out of nowhere and is all black.
It was clean. I mean, there was no foul.
Right. No foul, no flagrant. But did you see what he said afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a guy going in to try to get a shot, and he hadn't made one. And I didn't want him to feel good about himself going to the bench. That's a bench rule. Guys don't shoot shots in front of our bench to go back to their bench to feel good about themselves. If I'm going to ask the guys to contest, the staff's got to do the same. Like, what is this dude doing?
Well, you were there. You tell us.
I wasn't there with him, though. Like, I had left. Brad Stevens is my guy. I don't know Joe Mazzulla from, Joe Schmo on the street.
Do you think this plays with players? Do players see that and go, wow? Or do they go, oh, my goodness, our coach has lost his mind?
As Jason Tatum said afterwards, that's who Joe is. So when he did it, I wasn't caught off guard. I expect him or one of the coaches to do that. Gotta love Joe for Joe. And this happened earlier this season. Sam Cassell did the same thing to Buddy Hield when they played the Pacers. Yeah, this was back during the January 30th game, and I remember that. And people asked Mazzulla afterwards, like, what did you think of Sam? He's like, good. That's a bench rule. That's what we do. And so this is Kevin Garnett started this way, way, way back, right? A player tries to get some rhythm, get it out of here. I can see players do it. Now you got coaches doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, Big Dom, the security guy for the Eagles, is going to be out there swatting thing. Yeah, the ball boy going to towel guy, the athletic trainer.
After they call a timeout and the kicker kicks anyway.
Right. They come blocking it like that. Joe Mazzulla is an interesting cat. I keep telling you guys.
He wired a little tightly.
He is wired tightly. He is a different dude. And, it's working right now for him. They're winning. But, man, that's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Boston won the game. O'Neal did not score a point after shooting 0 for 7 from the field.
It worked.
0 for 5 from three-point range.
It worked. Yeah. Jaylen Brown said if the guy keeps trying to shoot, Joe will just keep playing defense. He'll take it as far as he needs to.
Somebody's got to test that.
Right.
Somebody's got to keep shooting.
Yeah, just keep shooting. Get the rebound, keep shooting, just keep shooting.
30 seconds after the whistle's blown.
Right.
Coach, we got a timeout here. I can't.
You know who the perfect guy to do that is?
The
perfect guy, Patrick Beverly. I can see Patrick Beverly out there messing around, still trying to shoot. And what's Joe going to do then?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, my gosh.
It didn't surprise me either when you said Sam Cassell. I didn't remember that. But
yeah,
that Sam Cassell I could see doing.
No, oh, yeah. Sam, first year at Boston right now as a assistant. Like, they're trying to develop some culture there in Boston right now. And I think this is part of it. But this is your head coach.
Have a lot already? Are they fine-tuning it?
I think they're fine-tuning it. I think, that's the reason why they brought in Sam Cassell. They brought in some veteran assistant coaches because
Sam Cassell was a good player.
Very good player. Very good player. So they needed more leadership. Remember, last year, Marcus Smart was the leader. And so I don't know if that was good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
They had Grant Williams, guys like that, and so I think they needed more structure from the coaching, and Joe Mazzulla needed more support as well. That's why you bring in a Sam Cassell.
Is that why they brought in Drew Holiday, who I admire greatly? He's a guy that does all that dirty work, and he's not like A mental case.
It's not about, like, think about it. And I love Marcus Smart. We'll see him on, I don't know if he's traveling with the team, but we'll see him Monday when the Grizzlies come to town. But 2 minutes left in the game, Drew Holiday, cerebral, he's going to make the right play. Marcus Smart, he's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make the play with his heart. Drew Holiday's going to make it with his head.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So you'd never seen that either.
I've never seen it. Like, that video is, if that's not on Shaqtin' a Fool or something, like, that has to be on it. That was amazing.
You mentioned Garnett used to do that. The first time I really noticed him doing that was when the Kings played them in the playoffs, which would have been, was that 04 or 05?
04?
And I remember
And his MVP
drove
season.
everybody crazy.
Yeah. Oh, really? They hated it?
There'd be a whistle, and then someone would shoot, and Garnett would come over.
Like,
and it was like, hey, it was very, very annoying.
Right. And I feel like everybody does it now. Like, there's somebody on every team that does. I've never seen the coach do it until now, but you see it happen all the time.
I understand it. I mean, it would drive me crazy, just playing pickup if someone did that. Knowing you play pickup with is good enough to do that, but I could see the points like, no, you ain't making a shot.
Yeah. I forget who it was. I was watching a game. It might have been the Kings game against the Bucks or somebody, went for the shot after the buzzer, and somebody tried to block it, missed, and it still went in. I was like, yeah, good for you. Good for you.
Who wasn't it? Wasn't it Nate Robinson one time shot at the wrong basket? And it was right after the buzzer, and it was
it Nate?
I thought it was on the Knicks. And was it D'Antoni was like, livid?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, dude, the
buzzer's over. It's the play's over. It's not going to count. Yeah.
Any predictions for tomorrow of any kind? Of any kind?
I'm gonna predict a big game from Kevin Huerter tomorrow. I think Kevin Huerter.
Guy?
Yeah, that's my. They're mostly all of them are my guys, but
all of them mostly.
No, I'm saying if somebody goes 0 for 10 or something, I'm gonna cool off on them at least on that day. But Kevin Huerter is definitely my guy. But I want to look at the injury report really quickly for the New York Knicks because obviously they're banged up. No Julius Randle,
no Mitchell Robinson,
no Mitchell Robinson. They do have the big fella. Isaiah Hartenstein.
Look out.
He's a difference maker out there.
98th player on the ringer.
OG Anunoby is questionable right now. Kevin Huerter questionable right now. So if Kevin Huerter plays, I'm looking for big things.
All right. I got a big game for Keegan
Murray.
tomorrow.
Back-to-back big games.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thanks for being with us this week. We appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. Don't miss Drapes with the call tomorrow night. Thank you, Jay. Don't forget, we got UC Davis basketball coming up 8:30 tonight on Sactown Sports. Have a great week.